What's up, Black Comic Lords? We got a dope show for you tonight. I can't even front. Um, this is gonna be a special one, a special one. You know, it's interesting about this space. Uh, we talk about Black comic creators, Black comic book characters, and to a much large extent as well, we talk about Black culture. This show is the intersectionality of that. We as a people, we're the creators, we're the tastemakers, we're the pioneers of culture in this world. Um, whether it be in comics, music, the arts, we're the ones that do that. We do that. We lead that. There's a brother that is in our space who is a curator of that culture on many levels. We like to call him a savant collector, Brother DJ Phil. And he has started a journey that he has labeled Collections in Black. He's curating the culture. And tonight he's bringing a really special curation of that culture tonight with his first episode of Collections in Black Live. I've been trying to get his brother to do this for over a year. So he finally got his stuff together. Let's see what he's coming to.
What's up, people?
What's up, man?
Man, listen, I'm feeling good. I'm not even going front. Man. We here. This is, and you know what, too? I want to apologize because I've been on the show on multiple occasions, obviously. But this is the first time we did Collections in Black Live. And it's important that I do this particular show as ridiculous as possible. And I mean, I wanted to make sure that I start this thing off strong, you know, and it's important because, you know, I care about the culture. I care about it, you know, as much as anybody, if not more than most people. But I just want to say this. Over the past 2 years, I've been all around the country with Collections of Black, you know, gathering art pieces, doing these galleries, et cetera, et cetera. In between that, DJing for your favorite artists, doing shows. And during this time, I've made so many relationships. People who are at the top of their game. Like, and when I say at the top of their game, I'm not saying it just to be saying it. I'm talking about at the top tier. When we talk about the Mount Rushmores, these people are on the Mount Rushmores in their particular lane.
For sure.
And today we're going to have a conversation about what place does AI have in our space, the hip hop space, the comic space, the music space. But more importantly, we're going to talk about Black comics, Black culture, and all things related to that. My name is Big Phil. I'm the curator of Collections in Black. Hopefully y'all know me. If you don't, you're going to know me. If you don't know me and you're on this channel, then something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I'm going to say who's all on this particular show, and we're going to bring them all on at the same time. I'm going to try to do this as real as possible because I'll be honest, I'm a fan of these brothers. We're going to start with my man Jayquan. Jayquan is the hip hop historian of all hip hop historians, in my opinion. And let me say this particular weekend, last week, and I'm not just flexing, I'm being honest. Last week, almost every individual that I dealt with all had a Jayquan story for me. All knew Jayquan. So Pete Nice from Third Base came in for my man Paradise Gray from X Clan's birthday, and we did the birthday celebration. We did the Hip Hop Museum here in Pittsburgh, and I helped to put some pieces up. And actually, when they first did it, I helped back when they first announced, you know, during the COVID time. Jayquan's name comes up. Oh, that's my man. You know, Paradise. Oh, Jayquan's the guy. Pete Nice. Jayquan's the guy. I did the Nas after party with Green Lantern. The day after that, I did a show with EPM. We did a show with EPMD, me and my union brother. Shout out to Black Steel and Selector. And EPMD's manager pulled out a book that he wrote, and guess who did the audio portion of the book? Jayquan. You know what I mean? And it was just, I was talking to DJ Diamond, and he was talking about Jayquan. So it's, and me and Jayquan, we've had a relate. He's been cool. We've been talking about doing some things together. But Quan, I'm glad you're on this particular show, man. And it's a blessing to have you on here, brother. I really appreciate it.
Honored, bro. Honored to be here.
For sure. The next person we got, we're gonna get in everybody. I'm trying, I'm long-winded. This brother is possibly the illest artist, the hottest artist in the game, black or white. My man Sanford Greene. When we talk about Bitterroot, which is possibly, in my opinion, Bitterroot is the best comic that is out right now. It's not even up for debate. It's not a game. Sanford Greene is the illest, in my opinion. He's good people's. We kicked it in different cities, but we'll get into that a little bit later. If you don't know who he is, you know who he is. You've seen his artwork. And Brother Greene, I'm blessed to have you on the show today. And I really appreciate it, brother.
No doubt, man. Happy to be here.
And I know you're the busiest person on the planet, man. And we love you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And last but not least, we're going to get into all your favorite records that are out. This brother done touched. And that's not me talking crazy. We're talking about the greatest engineer, modern musical engineer in the game. Period. For the past, whatever. I mean, I don't even want to go into all the accolades because then I'll forget something and I'll look crazy. But we want to give it up to Young Guru. And I spin a lot of his records when I DJ. It's not even a game. And he's also a comic head. And so, brothers, I really appreciate y'all being on this show, man. And this, I'm blessed to have y'all on here.
I appreciate you, brother.
For sure, for sure. We're gonna get right into it. There's so much we need to cover. And first and foremost, we're gonna talk about what place does artificial intelligence have in. We'll talk about comics first and foremost. We're gonna go into music first. Let's get to music because there's been a lot of different and interesting things that have been happening so far in the music game. I do believe that artificial intelligence is a tool, but I also feel that, how can I say this? I'm a DJ. I grew up where the older DJs kind of put you on and you really didn't go out and do anything until you kind of earned your stripes. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't just get out there and just do anything. I don't think artificial intelligence has leveled the field, but I think that it's made the field kind of fraudulent and people are kind of are masking, are faking that they're artists by using artificial intelligence. I apologize for rambling, but any of you brothers want to jump in, feel free.
Well, it's kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic. I started the show talking about how we as a people have been, the tastemakers and the trendsetters, and we create art, we create culture, right? The question becomes, what happens when you have something that comes along that tries to, and backstory wise, because we create all these cultures, we're the culture that is often emulated and stolen from, right?
Right.
So we're a little bit more sensitive to this topic because you have technology that can do what has historically always been done to us and have that become the norm. So that's kind of just to set the sort of the stage of where, so to contextualize our discussion.
No, absolutely. So this is something that it leads into just my whole life, right?
Right.
In terms of us who are the dreamers, who are people who I'm sure that plenty of people who are sci-fi heads or who read comic books or who just dream of things that are beyond sort of the life that we live, right? This is what I was raised on. We've tackled these questions before.
Right.
And we understand that I could speak on so many different levels of when I say to people that there is an infinite amount of space between 0 and 1. And I really got to make my students understand human creativity, specifically Black creativity.
Right.
So if I'm dealing with this, I talk about it from a bunch of different levels. I try to make it as simple as possible, but also not simplistic, right? I don't even think the common person understands the difference between a large language model or a GPT and all that. We're not here to get into all that. Right. What I'm saying is that Black creativity, our creativity, the thing that says, okay, I've watched this thing for so long and people are tired of that and I need to pivot and move. And how should I pivot and move and use the things that are immediately around me to do whatever I'm going to do? Whether or not that's music, whether or not that's art, you may look at a visual style and that style may become played out. People may overdo it, which may make Sanford go, I'm not going to do this specific thing no more because people are doing that too much in comics. Let me move. The computer can't understand that. Same way that we can make a DOA where it's just like, okay, def or auto-tune, where, okay, y'all overusing this auto-tune thing. Let's move to it. That's just an opinion. Or you may agree or disagree. That's all human experience. Nobody can tell you specifically what is good or bad. I can't tell you salt is better than pepper, is better than paprika, is better than obey. Same chicken, same steak, but your mom cook a little different than my mom.
Right.
Human expression. Something about it's going to be different, and it may not be able to be quantified. My mom's pinch is a little different than your mom's pinch. This inker's brush stroke is a little bit heavier on the hand than this inker's brush stroke. So it makes it look like that. Can't quantify that. I tell kids all the time when it's just like they come up to me and they be like, oh, I could play the perfect John Coltrane thing. Okay, I heard it from Coltrane. Where's you?
Right.
You can use those things as influences. You know what I'm saying? Okay, these people set this thing up. But where's your expression? And I think that is the core of what I'm trying to explain to people of what AI is missing. Besides the fact that the steps to get to mastery is what develops the person. So if I just can give you this thing, the access being instant, you don't appreciate the steps that it took.
The process.
Right. And that develops who you are as a person. So let's talk music. Okay, the things that you have to develop in terms of understanding music. When we was hip hoppers and we was young, yeah, we was just, I'm DJing first and I'm playing records and I'm understanding the psychology of what makes people move. What songs make people do this? What songs can I do? Okay, then I want to understand how they're made. So I start spending my money and just developing and trying, and you fail. But the failures is really what gets you to the point of like, okay, I'm never going to forget any question I ever got wrong on an engineering test. I'll never get that question wrong again, ever, because I wanted to be perfect. So when this thing said, this is how this board work, and I got it wrong, I was like, oh man, why? What? Now that's in the thing of my mind. Okay, again, all of these little details. Sanford going, yo, I like this type of paper when I'm doing this sort of thing. The computer's not going to understand why that decision may be unconscious. It's just what he like or don't like. That's his particular taste. And that taste will bring about a bunch of different flavors that is not good or bad. It's just different flavor. Okay, New Orleans food. We go down there. You want your po' boys. You want your seafood with the. Okay, I go to Chicago. I want the deep dish pizza, and this is what y'all dealing with. And I go over here to the east, and I get blue crabs. And I go a little bit further to Boston, and I get the big crabs. And I go out to the west, and they dealing with this food. And
right,
it's not right or wrong. AI can't predict that of what next generations will do with what those recipes are. And I'm saying recipes for everything, whether or not that's music, food, comics, any of those things. That's the part. Now, that's the creative part of it. Legally, I can't trademark my voice in the United States right now. I can trademark a string of words, but I can't, meaning a song or a speech, or we do this YouTube as a string of words. You own this. But my voice itself, and I got a program that could take I could take y'all talking I don't need you to do the Manchurian Candidate thing anymore. It was just a couple of words, and then now we're gonna figure out how to replicate. You got hours of Black Comic Lords of me getting your voice.
Right.
Same thing. I could make you say anything. You can't trademark that right now. This is the danger.
Right. That shit's dangerous.
Now this is also people from the hood that is like, yo, we know the real world. So imagine us in our 50s. Imagine my mother's, in her 80s, and she gets a phone call that goes,
getting scammed.
I forgot the code to the house. Can you just tell me the code to the house real quick? I forgot, Ma.
Right.
And it's my voice.
Yeah.
This is the danger. This is what sci-fi does. Not to scare people. Yes, there are plenty of positive things that could come about with AI that can make things faster. It's a faster calculator. I don't expect someone who's in a Fortune 500 company to do the books by hand. Yes, use a calculator, use a computer, right? But I'm also not going to give a calculator to a 5-year-old. I want you to learn how to add and subtract and multiply. It does a lot of other things in the brain other than just that. This is my ultimate problem with where we're going with AI and the fact that these things have been thought out.
Right.
But then we get into a corporate thing and a government thing.
Yeah.
So that's where I land with it. Let alone the dangers of just from a social standpoint, right? Like the level is lowered.
Right.
Somebody would see something before and be like, hey, that's at a really high level, man. I gotta get better to get to that level. Music. You heard Rakim spit a rhyme and you was like, man, I can't rap that good.
Right.
I need to get better to be able to do that. Sanford might have saw somebody draw something and be like, man, my art is not really at that point where I'm 12 years old, 13. I need to get better. I need to study.
Right.
I need to do it. That's my point. If I could just type in the words and I'm George Clinton, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna add to that too. You know, when you were saying before about we've gotten to the point now where people don't even want to get better. They don't want to go through the process. They don't even want to learn how to get better. Now it's just the instant gratification, and it's, that part is sad. I remember there were points, I'm gonna go back to DJing or producing. There would be moments where you would see certain people getting busy. Why don't you get out there? Nah, I ain't ready yet, man. I got to wait. I got to go back in the lab and get nice with it, or even when you first start making beats, the other person making beats, play something like, I'll be back. I'll be back next week, but now with everything being so automated, it's the learning process is out, is totally out. It goes from this is what I want to do to this is the end result. And now people don't respect the process anymore.
And just the development of whether or not you're talking, there's so many levels I could go here, but just if you're talking music and what I do, right? Music education,
right?
It's almost like team sports, right?
Right.
You're not playing football just to play football and score touchdowns. The lessons that come from that of working with other people. Okay, this whole squad right now, this person who's the cornerback, he's kind of lacking. This person makes up for that with this. I got an ill offensive line, so I could base off this. What happens? Okay, I've been used to that. Now I go to college and I don't got that line, but I got this and that. You got to know, like this builds things other than just how to play the game. Can I deal with these things on a professional level? Can I do? It's all of those sort of things with versus like what I'm trying to say is like, okay, yeah, you may be able to draw, but can you deal with schedules? Can you deal with Marvel the way that Sanford does? Can you bounce around and do all the necessary things? Can you deliver on time? Can you do like these are development skills? You see what I'm saying? So the thing of the regurgitation of what human existence has been, this gets fed into a computer because that's all it is us giving up our information, right? We don't really realize what we're giving up when we say yes to Instagram or to X or to whatever it is. When we say yeah, like any image, anything that they can use, they're not selling it, but any image that I put up there, any song that I put up there or whatever can be trained in these models.
Right.
So this is trying to stuff human existence and human expression, and you don't understand the why. This is the Merovingian in the Matrix. Like you was told to come here and you came here,
Right.
but you don't understand why you here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That learning is the why, is the reason why we do certain things. That's in any type of our expression, and that thing is what we was talking about earlier, where it was like, we are the stewards of that. We are the ones that constantly are shifting and moving, and somebody pick up on this and pick up on that and make, exploit it and do, this is the new thing that's in, but we always generate it.
Right.
And that's based off of just our existence of the time period we was caught up in, wherever we was brought up in, what our influences are, what we read, what we didn't read, movies we saw, everything, all of the things, comments shared, experiences as Black men and women, also the things that are specific to a city or just a certain, all of that is our expression.
There's this interesting quote. Eclectic Birdie Nietzsche says, there's a divide between creators and corporations for AI. You have anime studios using AI to cut corners and churn out a finished product faster. So it kind of raises a question. The push for the use of AI, is it coming from the artist, from the creators, or is it coming from corporations?
It comes from corporations. So again, what I love in not only in my comics and stories is when it's not just this clear, this person is good, this person is evil, right?
Yeah.
What you're being presented with is the natural way that human evolution is happening. So if I'm in an advertising agency, right? Let's say a normal advertising agency, and I want to promote said product, I would have to hire a writer to write the thing of whatever it's going to be. I would hire the film crew. I would hire the director. I would hire the actors that are going to be in it. I would, like, all of these are specific jobs, right? So imagine now if that same group of 5 people that are in this ad agency that have this one thing, let's say it's for Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Now I don't have to hire anyone. I just have to have a discussion in the meeting of saying, this is the idea, this is where we're going, this is what we'd like to see. And by the time that hour meeting is over, we have 5 different versions of the commercial done. They're looking at that as a cut to cost. Right. We're looking at it as you've cut out the creator. So I'm presenting that to say, this is where it's coming from. The same way, like, I'm still one of them last ones that we are of the culture that samples records.
Talk that.
And I believe that the person who I'm sampling from should be paid properly.
Right.
No, absolutely. I got my machine, same machine right over here.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So no, hold that back up, Phil. Hold that back up.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Tell the camera.
Okay, so that's the machine that's made by Native Instruments. What it is a physical controller for you to not only control a program that's going on inside of the computer that is built in the tradition of the MPC, but it's also a standalone so that you can go anywhere you want and be making beats
and make your beats with it. Exactly.
Now, in essence, it's a tool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? And that's kind of what the point is AI is a tool.
But wait before let's slow down. The difference is it is a good point, but not all tools are the same. You actually got to put in the work on the machine. You can't just sit there. I can't just sit there and say, "Oh, I want to make something hot." No, I actually gotta. If I'm gonna do something on machine, I gotta actually pull out some records, and I gotta actually throw them Johns over on the turntables you see right there, not the controller. And I gotta actually go through there and dig through the particular parts and make it do what it do.
That's the difference. Can I say that a different way? Can I say that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want to hear everybody else's input too. I don't want to just dominate the conversation. This is supposed to be like barbershop talk, but yes, you're right. It is a tool, but there's levels to tools. So
yes,
the wheel is a tool. right? That's
Right.
part of what advanced us as humans, is that we built tools, right? You can say a saxophone is a tool.
Right.
Getting something out. A horn is a tool. A drum is a tool. Any of those things. That's what I'm saying. It's more of an instrument than it is a tool, but an instrument is a tool. That's not the problem of it being a tool. The problem is that it usurps information of you learning the tool. So it's the learning of the tool and the foundation of that allows you to manipulate the tool, or else there would be no hip hop, because we used our tools in ways that was not intended by the creator of the tool.
For sure.
Right.
That's what makes us us. The turntable never was supposed to be manipulate the platter. It was supposed to be the needle on the record. Beat machines were never made for us to actually put samples in them and manipulate it. It was Roger Lynn trying to get a job with Eric Clapton, so he couldn't afford a drummer, and he made a beat machine so that he could do demos.
The Lindrum. Made the Lindrum.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes us hip hop. So for sure, that's my point, is I still want my students to be able to go through a ranking of, okay, you're this young, you should learn how to add. Now we're getting into advanced sort of math, and I don't want to say like it's super advanced, but no, when you're in my calculus class, you can use a calculator, because it's not about what the answer, it's about the idea of me teaching you calculus. Now you can use the calculator.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if you never have that basic thing, you'll never know how to create something else. If we're just trapped in, it's like, okay, yeah, transistors were made. And I study Bell Labs. I'm a real engineer, not just a music engineer, but an engineer.
Talk that, Guru.
This is three white guys at lunch determining how this thing is going to work. It works beautifully. We would not have the modern world without the transistor. It gets extremely small, and we can put billions of them, you know what I'm saying, on a circuit, but it's still the same idea. These three dudes' idea, and one of them was a stark racist.
Right.
What I need my students to understand the fundamental idea, because you may do it. What did Shuri say in the movie? Just because it worked, don't mean I can't make it better. That's what I'm saying. And the AI will only be copying what we're doing when we could be developing better ways. Is it a bonus if I go, okay, yeah, the simple task that I want to do, clerical shit of like, no, do I want my overall question is, okay, Chat GPT, tell me every issue that Black Panther has ever been in. And what it spit out to me is already a well-known website that I had, where I'm like, yo, I've already printed this thing out. I'm dead serious. I go through the years, I mark my shit. You're getting the information from the place I got it from. I already seen that.
Right.
I'm asking you, you're supposed to be advanced. You're supposed to have it up to date from the start to now, all of it.
Right.
Not just his issues, annuals, the everything. That's where it's only our information. It's going to take a person like me or you or somebody like that to put the information in there before it can even spit you back the right answer.
Right.
There's difference between using any tool to assist you and using a tool to do the work for you on the creative level, because that's where it becomes a problem, because we're talking about the arts, whether it be hip hop or it be comic books, the arts. And that work is about creativity. That work is about imagination. That work is about producing things from your emotion and your experience as a human being. It's the expression of our humanity. That's at the core of all these arts, the expression of humanity. There's a difference between asking AI to help you express your own humanity and you telling a bot, go simulate my humanity.
Right.
That's that fine line. Sanford, you've been in the game long enough. You remember the discussions when Procreate came out for artists, right? And people were like, "Oh, that's not you're not doing art. You're doing it on a computer. You're not drawing." Talk about that.
You can honestly go back to when Photoshop first came out.
Yeah.
Photoshop. People are losing their minds. Oh, this is the end of the arts. This is the end of the visual side of it. You can just go to a computer. So I'm going to kind of try to paint a silver lining. I think Guru said some really good points on the human experience. Like it'll never duplicate that. We're always evolving in our creativity. And 99% of that is based off of the nuance, right? All five of us, our experiences are totally different in how we view things from a personal standpoint, because that's our person, right? What we might like the same music, we might like the same visuals, but there are certain things that each one of us can experience in those things that will be just enough nuance to make it a different experience for us individually. And I think that's what the arts, from the creativity of it, that's where we are. We're just we're humans, and we can do those things that a computer cannot do. And yes, you hear people all the time, oh, it's getting more advanced, it's getting more, but Photoshop was doing all kinds of things when it first came out. It can do 10 times more now, and we're still creating. From the music side, you have, someone just said, Fruity Loops, you guys, that do the music from the actual record, picking up the record, finding the sample. You have the Serato machine. I heard different stories about how that could be the end of, creating, the DJing experience. And DJing is probably more popular now than ever, the traditional side. I think at some point we always hit this kind of weird apex of things, technology, and we then kind of hit this moment of, wait a minute, this is not really my personal experience. This is just some simulated experience. I want my own personal experience. And you go back to the things that you connect with. That's why I think even you look behind me, I collect comics. I'm sure most of these guys here do the same thing. I don't do it just because I am in the industry. I do it because there's a personal connection to these stories. All these books have something there that I connected to. And also it does help me because I connect to it. It helps me creatively. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to help anyone that is into into music or art. You may not necessarily do it as a profession, but the connectivity of it is what we all need to function. Like we don't just walk around lifeless without having something creative to give us, again, that experience, that personal experience. So I to Guru's point, he had the Serato. This is my I'm sorry, he has the MPC. This is my version of a record, right? A sketchbook. I tell my students, before you get on Procreate or Photoshop or anything like that, we're going to use this. This right here will give you the connection that you really need to be confident in who you'll learn about who you are and what you can do in this. Then you can take that to Photoshop but then because you've already got that connectivity here, the foundation is laid. I think Guru said something earlier. I'm going to teach you calculus on paper before we give you, computer, because you'll have that foundation. So that's the thing. I think we all want that. Every person wants that. We get what we're caught up in the whole AI stuff, but again, Photoshop, Procreate, they all had that moment of hysteria, and we kind of came back to our understanding. Wait, we want that connectivity and we go back to, the place that we should be.
Allow me to play devil's advocate. I don't disagree with anything you said at all, Sanford. And me and you have talked about this. I wrote a piece a couple months ago for Rock the Bells about AI and hip hop comics, and we had the same conversation. I said the only difference is the nuances. With Photoshop, you still had to have a artistic bone in your body to approach Photoshop. Made it easier, definitely. But even with some of the, I got an ASR 10 sitting over here that I still use sometimes, but you gotta know how to sample, you gotta know how to filter your samples, whether you're doing it on a machine or you're doing it on Fruity Loops, whatever. You have to have that basis, and a musical ear. The only thing that I think is a little bit different about AI is you don't have to have anything except knowing how to give it a prompt. I was with a brother recently, and he's not an artist, but he was saying that he had just purchased the software that Timberland deals with. It's Suno, I believe it is.
Suno.
And he let me hear some stuff that he had done. Again, this brother is not a producer. He's not a creative in that way. And he said that he fed us some lyrics of a friend of his who's an MC, but this thing put his own voice to it. And I was like, it sounded so real. I was like, who's the MC? And he's like, it's not an MC. We just fed it the rhymes. Like nothing in it was real, but you wouldn't be able to know. And that's what I fear on many levels, not just the level of the music and the creativity and the art. I think it was Guru that said it earlier. Is already to the point now where you can look at video, and AI hadn't even taught itself to do things perfectly yet. But you can see now people share videos every day, and it's obviously fake. Like, with the weather events we've had, people sharing fake videos. If you just look a little bit, you can tell, well, that ain't real because the car disappeared and came back. You can tell it's not real, but it's fooling some people already. Wait till it gets to the point where it's perfect. And
which is coming very soon.
Very soon. Because it's constantly teaching itself. So I'm not trying to be an alarmist or a conspiracy theorist. I'm just offering another point of view of I don't want to simplify it as I don't want to put AI on the same level as Fruity Loops and Photoshop and all these other, and even we get into this thing where we always try to convince ourselves, oh, it ain't that bad. Like when Napster and all these things first happened, we tried to find a oh, it ain't that bad. It's just this is the good thing about it. And then after a few years, when there ain't no more record stores, and there ain't no more physical product, and people try. What's that?
Can I ask a question? Because what you're saying is so real. I don't want you to lose your thought, right? But I want to like specifically, even more than just the fear, right? Like let's not even talk about fear. Let's bring it all the way home and say, if you've been on the internet or say YouTube, right, and you've watched how good it's gotten, where now like the Star Wars stuff that was books, people are starting to put up videos, right, of those things, of like things that were prior we never got movies for. It's kind of cool to watch it. But what happens if a bunch of people do their version of Bitterroot in that way? Right? Yeah. So no, they're not selling it. It's not a movie. Yeah, nobody can do a movie of Bitter, but it's like, okay, but then they getting YouTube views, and then that's money being generated, and Sanford's not seeing none of that. Like, that's literally not around the corner. That's at our doorstep right now. That's why I didn't want to stop the wisdom, but I'm like, bring it home. Like, that's the danger. Not like, is it Skynet? I'm like, how are we dealing with those type of copyright infringements?
Something you said, even with that, my lawyer and agent, we had a meeting about that. I think one of the things that to you guys, what you're saying, that was a concern, that is a concern. We honestly felt like we were in a place where, from a creative side of things, we didn't have the platform 2-3 years ago, right? And then here comes Guru and the whole Timberland thing. And so now it's in a bigger space. And we're like, wait a minute, these guys are having this discussion on this bigger level, because truth be told, you guys said it, like, what we understand at least on our side, the visual side, we were kind of at ground level of this whole AI thing. Like when it first really started kicking off, it was, whatever the platforms are, they are scrubbing the internet and pulling all these artists' work to make this hodgepodge of some whatever this thing, right? And we were scrambling, trying to figure out, like, how do you talk about this thing in a way that's going to really resonate? And it made some noise, but it wasn't quite in a place to where we could really make people see and understand, like, to your point, right?
Right.
Then once this started to enter the music space, and you got these big name producers playing around with this stuff, saying this is the future and this is where we're heading, and
right.
Then it became an alarm, and we're like, okay, we were kind of in this space already. So part of what I'm saying is, like, we kind of, because we didn't have quite the platform just yet, we just came to a resolve of we're going to continue to do what we're doing and understand and keep our eye on things, keep the pulse on. That's why we had that conversation, Jayquan, because I'm like, I'm just one person, but if I just kind of put this out there to let him know that I understand what's happening here, then he will see that, okay, or begin to understand, oh, even in this art space, this thing, people can tell. Definitely from a visual side, like you may have a point as far as like the music and the some of the live action stuff. It can be, but from the art side, I think the visual side, we definitely we've been fighting this fight for 5-6 years now, and we kind of came up with solutions. The biggest one is just to be, advocate for the arts, right? We call it out, and as much as we can, and we have conversations like this to hopefully bring even more attention to the broader audience.
Someone just made a comment that I think we kind of need to address here, because this is my producers. Go ahead, Derek. There you go. AI is freedom, no budget restrictions, no needing mainstream support. They want blacks scared of being able to create without limits nor approval. Now,
so let me say something, Paul. I'll say something because you know I don't care. Here is the issue with that. I believe that it's not about having the freedom. It's not about the budget restrictions. It's not about the mainstream support. And there are people who can use AI in creative ways. The issue with AI in the arts is that most of those people aren't talented. You have people that are doing this artwork when they never picked up a damn pencil in their damn life. That's the issue for me. You got people making songs who can't rhyme to save their life. Ain't never made a beat, ain't never went through no records, never went through the particular process. I personally, I'm not going to speak for the other brothers on here. I can't respect somebody who sit there and says, "Hey, yo, listen to this joint I just made," and I sit back and say, "Well, who wrote that?" Oh man, I'll put some prompts in. Man, get that. My mom's in the chat, so I'm not going to cuss.
I don't want us to fall into this idea.
Wait, but Paul, hold on 1 second, lawyer. Hold on, let me finish because I'm not finished. Hold on, real quick.
my bad. I'm sorry.
My mom's in the chat, so I'm not going to cuss right now. But I'm going to say this. I can't respect you. I have no respect for that. It gets to the point, and the first thing too is that it takes away from, it steals from other artists. AI does not create anything. The prompts take from other artists. I was sitting down with somebody who played me a joint literally, and I was like, "Is this a new Jay-Z joint?" Nah, man, I just threw this shit in here. Man, my mom's in the chat, Jesus. Get out of here, respectfully, my brother, because I've worked way too hard to get to where I am. I put in way too much work. I respect the process. And here's the difference. Before AI, we had ghostwriting. Here's the key. You have to actually write. That's what ghostwriting is. You have to actually write. Horrible rappers actually rhyme. So you're not hold the truth hostage. You're not holding the truth hostage, my brother, respectfully.
And the other part of his argument is, black people had to seek permission and get approval to be creative. No, we didn't.
Somebody saying no damn. The hell.
Opposite. We were creative, and we created things despite not having the resources or approval to be able to do it. That's what makes it part of it special. We don't need to couch these arguments in terms of we need permission and it gives us freedom.
Right.
That ain't our story. That's not our history.
We never needed permission. We never needed permission. And to
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, to add on, Guru said something earlier, and I'm going to add on. He was talking about, the elements of hip hop going against how the manufacturer intended something to be used, and that's such a beauty to say that. I remember before there were Technics 1200s. We made Techniques look at it and say, okay, we got to put these rubber feet on the bottom and put these weights because these guys are scratching records. We made them do that, right?
That's right.
I got pictures of Grandmaster Flash before the 1200 came out. He would put bags of sand on a table so that the table wouldn't jump. We all have put the penny on the needle or the dime or whatever weight you had to put on. We've all slowed the record down with our thumb. But not only is that element of hip hop one of, we always had to make lemonade out of lemons, right?
Right.
So, or worse than lemons, really. That's the beauty of, that's why culturally we do what we do. But every element of hip hop is like that. Spray paint was something that your mom used on her wicker chairs, or you painted whatever with it. And we took that and made an art form out of it. The microphone, Don Cornelius and people like that didn't like what we were doing at first because you're supposed to be singing on that mic. Yes, you had Pigmeat Markham and you had the brother Crocker on the radio talking rhythmically. But when we came with the modern day hip hop, where someone was like, wait a minute, they're not singing. It's not real. Every element of hip hop, even the beatbox, if you want to include that as an element, was these brothers trying to recreate what Flash was doing on his drum machine. So all of this was us taken from these economically disadvantaged places we were coming from, taking 2 copies of a record that our parents didn't want no more, and building a multi-billion-dollar culture out of it. We've never, I have to agree, we've never been silenced or not allowed to create. That's what we do. We create.
And this is why I got excited. This is why y'all on here. This is why we got the historian. Now, when Jayquan said it, damn it, he's the historian for a reason. The hell, Sanford, you know how I talk for real, man. So I don't give a damn, man. We done with this shit. We for real right now. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. I didn't come up here to play no games with nobody, no sugarcoat nothing. We gonna get down to it. We're gonna respect everybody's opinion, but you also got to understand there's a pecking order here, and that's why we have certain people here. I'm gonna be quiet, man. I got excited.
But let's take it a step further, right? Even with that person asking that question,
yes, sir.
You can be free to do whatever you want. So let's take it outside of the normal question that comes up of, hey, Ghoul is here. It's not going anywhere. It's a bigger thing. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's here. Okay, great. What I'm specifically asking for, because sometimes we're not really clear, is that people get properly compensated when something is training off of their work. That's what I'm asking for. So if you read certain things, Jared Lanier was a great, he's not dead, but is a great author. That was one of the people that was there in Silicon Valley, starting the internet when it was Xanadu, all those things, like his ideas. But one of the ideas that he came up with was a micro-pay system of the fact that all of our information is being used, all of it, where you buy something, tracking you, your emails, all of that thing, that's being used by corporate. They should be paying you, whether or not that's 0.05 cent. It's not a money value. It's just an idea of, if someone is training something off of your information, you should be getting compensated for that. That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for it to be, I know it's here, but at the end of the day, besides it's corny factor, there's also a legal factor of you're using my IP for information to train your thing to make a better product for that person. That person can't type in a prompt and get that music unless you've listened to a bunch of other music. That person can't type in a prompt and say, I want a Bronze Age style such and such, comic, unless you've scanned all of the bronze and the silver to know the difference. And You get the point that I'm making is that you're basing all of that off of our information. That's the problem.
Right.
For sure.
Right. And
I got 3 questions for the panel. First of all, I didn't even say thank y'all for being here tonight and having this discussion. It's an important discussion. I appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight. 3 questions. Question number 1: is AI going away? Question number 2: as creators and artists, would it behoove you to embrace AI as a tool? Question number 3: what responsibility do we have as a collective, as a culture, to police the use of AI in our creativity? Those are the 3 questions for y'all.
I think we, in a weird kind of way, I think we answered all of those
earlier.
Yeah, we kind of answered, a lot of it, but, to kind of make it more succinct, AI is not going away. Obviously, we that's the easy one. But I think the policing part, this is kind of the beginning of it, right? Or at least this is kind of how I think voices like gurus having platforms, because legislatively, that's the real issue. To your point, Guru, how do you get compensated? How do we as creatives, if you're going to use this tool and our art is a part of this thing and people are benefiting from this, that where the artists, there aren't, how do you make that the case to where they are being compensated? And I think that's legislatively, right? We have to be a little more. I started to look into it a little more, especially once Guru started making this thing, kind of his platform for the last 6 months, right? At least that's when I started really paying attention to it, because I was like, again, we had it in our space, but we're kind of like the bottom level of this creative space, if I'm being honest, the comic book space in the grand scheme of things, right? Because the majority of the viewing audience or people that listen to music or whatever, they're not necessarily comic book readers, but we were the first ones to kind of get the AI, infusion into our space. Just having these bigger platforms that are really educating the wider audience, I think, is part of it. And you have to get someone or some bodies that are in positions legislatively to help move some of this stuff along to where we could have, the proper compensation in place for this, because it's here. And I think, I don't want to sound whatever, but it almost has to be to the point to where, I don't know, the bottom has to fall out. Someone has to, unfortunately take with this Timberland thing. I hadn't followed it that much. Guru, you can talk a little more about, has he taken a real hit, from
No, he hasn't taken a hit. It's just it was first of all, to frame it properly, right? It was a couple things where I obviously disagree with what Tim was doing with creating that artist. There was a background of Tim having almost a year or 2 of him doing a thing where he's listening to like young producers, he's getting a bunch of beats in, it was that sort of thing. And it was like, okay, out of all of this talent that you saw, you decided to go with an AI artist.
Right.
But
Guru, I don't mean to interrupt, but perhaps we should, for those that may not be familiar, I think there's a video that these guys have queued up that we could play to give some context to what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think it's ready quite yet, but let's let Brother Guru keep going. We'll get to it.
He'll queue it up.
One of the main things that I wanted to do was like, I'm really around a lot of these young people in the neighborhood, and a lot of the interaction is very aggressive, and the online space makes it even more aggressive. So I was trying to like have a discussion with Timberland without having the normal internet, like, yo, you bugging and the cursing and the like going, no, this is somebody obviously y'all know I've worked with. I know the guy, you know what I'm saying? Right, people say, yo, you got my phone number, why not call me? Like all of that went on. So it was more of an exercise of that, of how do you have this disagreement with two grown men, but not be at each other's throats in a normal, like, internet way. Almost sometimes the way we argue about comics, like we get funky sometimes,
right.
Because of opinions. But what I'm saying is that he didn't even understand that, he was like, oh, I didn't train it off of this and that. I said, Tim, it trains off of the internet, period. Let alone, that's the legal part that they can train, let alone what they doing behind closed doors. You can't tell me that they're not training off of whatever you can get. But again, that's the statement of whatever you put on Instagram. So it was proven, even doubled down, even after the interview that we did together, that another young brother by the name of K Fresh, he may not be popular to the world. Yeah, he's popular to us that love beats and like beat makers, and, that whole world. And he has a very specific tag that not words, it's a sound. And the AI was not smart enough because it thought that was a sound, that it kept it in the example that it re-spit out for Timbaland. So this is a very direct thing of us showing you, like, it changed the drums a little bit, but it kind of kept it in that style. But it's literally K Fresh's beat.
If I can add something to it, Guru, too, I remember watching that. And I was watching that live, and I was like, "Oh, this is wild." And I'm in the chat too. And I'll say this: it was inspiring to see you respectfully, let Timbaland know, like, "Nah, this ain't it, cuz this is not it." And it was dope because then other people were doing that as well. And for me, I wasn't as respectful. I was in there talking crazy. I apologize, but I was in there talking crazy. But it was dope to see that. And then later on, I want to say it was that same night, y'all were on Twitch. And you were talking about it on Twitch. And you actually did a really dope drop. I don't know if you remember, but let's go ahead. Let's play that piece right now there.
Wow. It's a black man that did this cover. You know what I'm saying? My brother Sanford Greene. Like, that's my world is comics. So anytime you want to jump into that world, I know everybody in there. The blackcomiclords, like all those people.
I'm ready yesterday.
Yeah, that's who we bring. That's who we bring into the fold. And not to cut your wisdom, I'm just telling you, you got resources, bro. That's my world. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm ready yesterday. 3D characters, toys. Man, look, everything I design, I think about life as design.
So
that's just me talking off the hip, but like, there's a history there, right? So you got to understand, like, oh man, we're gonna get into comics later, but I gotta explain that moment, right? But it's like the way that Sanford may look at artists and be like, oh my God, Goo, you recorded these records. That's the way I look at them as artists. So it's just like, if you got Sanford and Jonathan Hickman on this one thing about Doom, then it was this experience of me waiting for this. I run to my local. One of the problems of me going back and forth between the East Coast and the West Coast is that I can't have a pull list, right? So I got to actually go to the comic book store every Wednesday, because I could do a pull list in Delaware, but then not be there for 3 months. I could do a pull list in LA and then not be there for 4 months. So boom. So I get up in Delaware and I run to the store. I was there as soon as the store opened because I'm waiting, and I go up and I'm reaching for the book, and there was another younger brother that was reaching for the book at the exact. I was like, you can have it. I let the younger kid get the book. So I was just like, do you mind if I just put it back up there? And I did a little video, you know what I'm saying, of how proud I was of him at that moment of doing that book. So then I ran to Philly real quick and then bought I've showed Sanford, I bought multiple copies, or like every version I could find. But then I get home, and you got to understand, for everybody else, MF Doom is a character. He's a rapper. He was my friend. And not to oversell it, you know what I'm saying? But Big Ben, who is his hype man, was like my guy at Howard. Big Ben was who introduced me to MF Doom. So I'm closer to like his hype man, Big Ben, but Doom was my guy, like minus the mask. So to open up that first page, and it was just like living off borrowed time, the clock ticked faster. Like, I had to cry. I cried for like a good 5 minutes, bro. Because I called Sanford and I was like, you had to put that in there, right? Jonathan didn't put that in there. You had to put that point. There's no way he knows that and what that means to us.
Yeah.
Like to us. That's just what when you see those books, that's why I'm so hyped and why the book is like right next to me or something, because it's just like that's what those things mean. Even on a deeper level, now we could talk about the artwork and the book and it dealing with death and like all of these things. Like imagine that level of reading the book. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm just like, Doom would love this. Like he would love this.
Right.
That's why there is so much passion there when you see that passion for that particular book.
Right.
And it's almost like my pride of like, nah, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that book means to me.
Right. But it goes back to the point I said earlier, man, that human experience, that book means to you what you just said. So when you in that goes with all of us, man, anyone in the chat, all of us, when we read or listen to a song or watch a movie or video or whatever, and we have this connection that goes infinite ways, right? And that's the point that I think that we're all talking about, is that creativity brings about that human connection. And we have to fight for that, because again, there are the powers that be. They love this AI thing because it's quicker and whatever. But I'm telling you, man, the human experience will always win out over some quick, easy chat GPT, whatever.
That's
100%.
The chat GPT is not going to pull out that connection that you just described, or that we just like this. It won't be able to pull that out.
I like to briefly, when the brother asked about those three questions, like, of course, AI, the thing is, AI has been here. When we talk of, there's so many elements to AI, we talk about chat GPT and all of the easy stuff of how to write a paper and get around certain things. And the conveniences are always the things that hook you. Even when Napster and all that stuff first came out, and I'm not saying hook you like there's some big conspiracy, but whenever they want to break a new technology, I mean, remember, they gave you the AOL disc free in the newspaper. They would mail it to your house. So it's free to get on. We
used to steal them off other people's lawns to get the
exactly. It's always some kind of ease connected to it in the beginning. So a lot of people are just looking at AI as writing papers and things like that. And I don't want to get into the macro, real big thing with AI, but the question was asked, can we police it? I think it's probably too late to police it because there's so much already out there, and like we're only being fed what the holders of the technology want us to know at this point. So I don't know how much you can be policed, but I think a very important question you asked was the last one about, does it behoove creators to embrace it? I think if you talk, what part of AI are we talking about? Because for me, I'm a filmmaker, right? So when I shoot, I don't necessarily adjust the aperture anymore so that the background is blurred out, because I could take it in post-production and click a button and it's going to blur it out like I had the best lens in the world. I don't want to talk jargon that the average person don't know. What I'm saying is, when you watch a documentary and the background is blurred, there's a expensive lens that can do that, or there was. Now, your phone can do it. Your phone can blur the background. So yeah, we can embrace AI as creatives, but what part of AI do you embrace? I do embrace those things that can make my job easier or expand on my creativity. If I didn't mic things right on the film and you got some background noises and I can come back and put the isolation on it and take the background out, that's great, because I'm already a creator who shot that and can fix that mistake. But as the brother Phil was saying in the beginning, that's a big difference, fixing my mistake or building upon what I already know how to do, and somebody just coming in and just saying, make this for me, make a Jay-Z sound and make a Jay-Z sound and flow with a track that sound like Primo, and then a banger come out and we pat that person on the back. Like, why are we patting the person on the back?
Right.
So
I was going to say, from the visual side of this whole thing, there was a really interesting podcast article about levels to AI in the visual side of the arts and how it is beneficial at certain levels. It's like a pyramid. It's kind of like a pyramid where at the bottom you get kind of your lower level, like 5 tiers. lower tier work, entry work for a visual artist. Hey, I want you to do a logo for me. Can you do me, a record with a hand holding the record, right? That's obviously something that is very it's a very overarching kind of thing. It can be a cartoon hand, it could be a live, a more live, realistic hand. Whatever that is, you honestly can do that. I think that's where AI serves the best in terms of from the visual side. It's something that Jayquan can immediately call on, and he can get that thing pretty much exactly where he wants it. He doesn't have to pay an artist. And the reason why I say this is kind of like where visual artists, they're going to have to be at a place to where they're okay with that going away. That visual, that type of job, I think is going away at some point. Mm-hmm. Flyers, these are one-off things. Big Phil, if you want to do a big party, you don't need to hire an artist necessarily for that. You could, and that's great that you would do that. But technically, you can do that just by putting together the information and putting some cool visuals, and you got your flyer. And for visual artists, those types of jobs aren't necessarily going to benefit you much anyway. I mean, even when I first started, that was a one-time thing, and it was on to something else. I didn't make a living from that. It was a one job, every blue moon type of thing. So, and then of course the pyramid kind of goes up, and it gets to a place to where the higher tiers, like what I do for a living, like creating Bitterroot, like that, I think will be harder, much harder for AI to be able to replicate. They can do some kind of form of it, right? But again, the nuances of the characters, each character, the story, the backgrounds, my own personal experience is in that, and that will not necessarily AI wouldn't be able to connect with that.
Can I ask a question though, Sanford? Like,
yeah.
So let's take, for instance, what I do in music, and I'm gonna try to relate it, right? It's not necessarily that. It's, at one point it was, I respected this thing enough that I saved up money from doing parties to go.
Come on, man. Come on.
And go make a record. And there was a devotion that came from that, right? There was a devotion that came from, I can't afford the beat machine, and I'm looking at the pawn shop, and I go to the pawn shop owner and tell him to put the thing in the back, and I promise you I'm gonna buy it, but I just don't want nobody else to buy it, sort of thing. Boom, boom, boom. Sure. Right? And I'm building and building it to a certain point.
Come on.
Where is the line? Because what will happen is not necessarily that, no, the person's not going to make a Bitterroot, but what happened in my industry is that now I can have a mom walk in and buy a little Focusrite Red for $150, $200 and a little, fake microphone that's nowhere near a good quality microphone. And their son or daughter is making records now, and everyone has access to upload that. There are 100,000 songs per day that get uploaded to Spotify. So now when I'm trying to find the good quality stuff, right? Let's say blackcomiclords has set up this place where this is where I come to say, where are all the black artists in comics? I no longer have to ask that question. Blackcomiclords is explaining that to me. Matter of fact, there is a whole part of their website devoted to that. Imagine now if there are 100,000 black kids doing it, and they have to go through every day and be like, no, that's not really good. The artwork is trash and the story's bad. It starts clouding up. When they're trying to show you, as a tastemaker, we lost the tastemakers, the radio, and all those things where people thought it was gatekeepers. You could also describe them as tastemakers.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You had to impress Red Alert. Red Alert was the person that said whether or not you made it on the radio. He's a funnel, and it's just like, no, this is garbage. No, this is good. Right. Put this up, and you came to that person for their personal taste. If I didn't like what Red Alert is playing, I'm gonna listen to Marley Marl. I'm gonna listen. I just want to go old school. I'm just saying what these funnels did. The same way blackcomiclords is a funnel for me. Anything that comes on this channel, I know is something I should, whether or not I like it or not. it's still a funnel for my attention because there's so many things going on when I walk into the store.
Right.
If I'm
trying to phrase it as a question, but that can happen when it's just like I'm not a storyteller, but I'm some kid that prompts, and I made a comic book, and you're supposed to support me because I'm black.
Right.
No,
you asked the most important question, and that question is, where is the line drawn? Right. And that's the reason that's going to be an important question. Is it's going to be a legal question. It's going to be a legal question. It's going to affect all of you because all of you are creators. And is it going to be something? Is it going to be criteria such as, how a prompt is made, or is it going to be something even more basic, like a certain percentage of a work has to be created by human endeavor versus AI? Because
let me say,
hey, Paul, of it have to be human.
Hey, Paul, real quick, before I don't want to lose this point, because I want to make a statement that I said months ago that I caught flack for, and I don't care. And Guru really just literally said what I said about the gatekeepers and the tastemakers. You need that. And so people get mad at me when I made a statement about I don't have to like everything. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to like everything. Everything isn't up to par. It just isn't. And I will show love and I'll try to support you. But my support is that I'm gonna need you to get better if you want me to spend my money. And that's the truth. I don't give a damn how people feel about it. You can say I'm this, I'm that, and people say I'm lying. We could go back and look at the whole episode when people said that I was, whatever. I don't care. I'm here because I put in the work. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm way further than I was. When he was talking about buying equipment, when I first was DJing, my father played in the band, so there was always equipment in the house, right? I remember I got my first turntable for Christmas, but it wasn't Technique 1200s, and I was appreciative. But you know what? I had to work very hard to get that, and it made me appreciate what I was doing. When I went to the next level, when I got my first beat machine, I had to work. I would go and I would look at it for months, even a year before I could get it. And when I got it, to me, it was just worth it. And I want to say this real quick because we'll be on this subject all night. And in the interest of time, one of the things that I want to talk about is the importance of education in our field. We have all these educators on this panel, and I think right now we're not bashing anybody. We're actually teaching. We're trying to spread the knowledge so that my mom used to say you're only responsible for what you know. And so now you know this, so now you're responsible. If you knew better, you do better. So now we want people to do better. And in the spirit of education, like the way I segued that, Brother D, can you please drop one of these educational clips, and then we can move on to the next piece, my brother.
No, my name is Philip Thompson. A lot of people call me Big Phil. I am a educator, father, curator, artist, DJ, producer, filmmaker, etc. All of those things. But right now, this isn't about me. This is about Brother Naven. Naven's art blew me away the first time I saw it. And it wasn't just so much about the style, the placement, the characters. It was the fact that he had the complete package in his artwork that it almost looked like an adult trying to imitate a kid's drawing. That's how good it is. What I found also that is really incredible about him is that he's so easy to work with.
My name is Naven, and I am moving to the 6th grade. ACH has really helped me with my drawing and comic skills because it's been an experience for me to make different art styles and paint and make sculptures out of stuff. And Mr. Phil has been really helping me with my comics.
I think this page is an incredible page, but the only thing that's wrong with this particular page is that the way that it's laid out, I think the way you lay things out are incredible. But the only problem about this particular layout is that this is when he's laying the traps, right? This is after the character says we're gonna lay the traps. So we have these two panels, they're kind of open, freeform panels, and these two are right here, which is this is an incredible image. But then when we get to this particular one, right? This is supposed to be what he's in a jar. He's in a jar. But the thing is, so you set up him laying the trap and then him getting out the trap. Then on this panel, you just show him getting out the trap. So we want to show.
Forgot about that.
That's fine. So
Forgot about that.
exactly. So what we want to do is, and we can break this up into 2 pages. Like it doesn't have to be this busy. So what we could do is say on this page. Let me see that real quick. I'm not going to draw it because I'm not as good as you. But let me get that. Oh, you want me doing that paper? All right. So on this one, just for space purposes, we're going to split this in half. And then what we're going to do is we'll take these 2 panels. We're going to keep this original page,
That's what I was gonna do. I went to Mr. Phillips' art exhibit and it had a bunch of comic pictures and stuff. So I really thought to myself, maybe I should start drawing stuff like this.
That's what's up. That's what it's all about.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing, brother. Like the way, from a teacher perspective, you know, we teach in here. So one of the things that you did, especially when dealing with the youth, is that you said it was amazing to them before you gave them the critique.
Yes, sir.
So you didn't just go in and say, this is wrong, change this, da, 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 da. You know, like an editor would say to an adult, you know, like sort of thing.
Right.
That's a big part of it, of showcasing to him what he did right, but then also taking him through the step-by-step of, oh, I see the story that you're trying to tell, but you jumped from here to here and you didn't get us this. So being able to speak that in his language is what teaching is about. So that's the biggest part of education that I figured out, is that, like, I have the information, but it's not about just my information. It's like, it's teaching styles, because there's different learning styles. So a lot of time, a lot of our youth that have a particular learning style, they may have the wrong teacher. And if the teacher can't get the information across, it's not the student fault, it's the teacher fault. Some students are very visual and they need to see it. Some students are auditory, they need to hear it. Some students they need to touch it, you know, especially when I'm dealing with, like, say, the stuff that I do with, like, circuit building and things like that. They no matter what theory I put on the board, they're not going to feel it until they touch it. So it's all these different learning styles. So that was amazing, bro. That was amazing.
Appreciate you. I
think, you know, from that standpoint, I teach at a HBCU here in South Carolina, Benedict College. And even at that age, you know, these kids are still kids, but they're 19, 20, 21.
Right.
That same approach is how they connect. And you again, I know a lot of kids that they do art, they go online and they look at YouTube videos. And again, this kind of still falls in the AI, you know, territory, where a lot of kids feel that they can get this quote unquote education through social media. There's some level, but that connectivity is going to make the difference. There's no way any visual artists that at least the ones that I've connected with, they've all done 10 times better than a lot of the kids that I've met that all they do is online stuff. They might have some talent, but again, they all have that. But the nuances, we keep going back to that human connectivity, the community, I think, is a very important thing too. You're in there with other like-minded folks, whether it be the instructor or your fellow students, that you see what they're doing and you're inspired by it, you're challenged by it. You know, those things make the biggest difference.
I don't go ahead real quick. I want to say also, I want to give a shout out to Brother Sanford, because we were in Orlando and for the original art expo, and we my daughter, who just graduated high school, she was the one who put up every Sanford Greene image. We had all the pages to Bitterroot #1, all the original art on display at the Collections and Black Gallery. Shout out to Kazra and them from Comic Art Fans. And at the 2 days into it, Sanford had asked, they're doing my baby girl right there. Sanford said to me, he was like, man, what school is she going to? And we were talking about the schools, and he was like, you know, holla at me, man. I can see what I could do, man. I'm gonna get her to come to school, you know, where I'm teaching at or whatever. And we were getting ready to make that move. It didn't have the major that she wanted, But I want to say, man, I'll forever be indebted to you for that, man. I really appreciate that. That was some real shit. I had to cuss on that one, man. I apologize, man. We just keeping it real. But I really appreciate that, and that meant a lot to me. In the spirit of that, I'm not finished, brother Derek. So, for those who don't know, since we're talking about art, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this is that I love original art. I have a passion for it. When I did Collections in Black, my exhibit was about having culturally relevant, all original artwork. No facsimiles, no copies, no nothing. I went all around the country gathering original art from the greatest people. And we had it at the Great August Wilson Center here in Pittsburgh. We did it for 6-7 months. It was such a success. Shout out to Sean Martinborough, who came up, and that's my brother who came up and was there for the first day. And the good people from OAX saw what I was doing and offered me a gallery in Florida. And on the way so I'm also in the process of, I have a 5-part mini series that's going to be on Comic Art Fans. That shows just went on that particular weekend. We were just going to put together a little 5-minute piece, but that 3-4 days was so incredible that it took a life of its own. I got a sneak peek of it, and if Dare has that loaded up, and it features my man Brother Greene in there. But if you can load that particular piece up, I would appreciate it. My mom just told me stop cussing. Let me stop cussing. I apologize, Mom.
There you go.
In the airport, and it just so happens we linked up, and our seats were together. I said, man, I got some of this artwork with me, and he was like, man, pull it out. So we're literally on the plane.
Yeah, you gotta run it back.
Looking at artwork, and I got one
like there
about 17 portfolios, and I see Sanford in the airport, and it just so happens we linked up, and our seats were together. I said, man, I got some of this artwork with me, and he was like, man, pull it out. So we're literally on the plane looking at artwork, and I got one of those big 11 by 17 portfolios, and we're sitting next to each other, and we have it all the way out, and we're going through the pages, and he's looking at things. He's showing love to certain art on the pages. He's critiquing certain things, and he's like, oh man, this is crazy. I've never seen this before. And to me, that was a dope experience to be on the plane with Brother Sanford, and to be sitting there discussing this art on the plane. And it wasn't weird or in no weird way. It was just two brothers on there, discussing really dope artwork, and we were both excited about getting to Orlando. So that's coming. That is about to be crazy. And I got a surprise for Brother Sanford too. Something took place where I had one of my favorite artists walked in, and
oh yeah.
He wanted to look at some things, and if we got that one loaded up too, man, we'll get Oh,
I want to see this.
It's dope.
What do you think, Brother Cowan?
This is great stuff. Wow. Well, Sanford's an excellent artist anyway. I've never seen these originals like this, so it's also good to see he's not doing them digitally, like
for sure,
doing, original art. This is amazing work, though. This is one of my favorite pages so far. Like that one.
Yeah, that one's incredible. They're all incredible. There's incredible. Like, just that the one. Layouts are unreal. This one right here.
That one and these two.
And that DPS.
It's just great. Like, I wish I could do that.
It's man, so it's unreal.
Wow.
And you know what I've always said is when you look at some of these pages in black and white, just how different they look.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the colors, because the color is part of it, but it's just when you see them, you kind of look at these things totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when they're not in a book form, you kind of just study.
Yeah, but you're looking with this kind of stuff, you're looking at stuff that's priceless.
Right.
It really is. It's it's really what it's all about.
Come on, man. It don't get no better than that.
Wow.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Cowan talking about Sanford.
You can't go wrong with the GOAT, man. That's the big bro right there, man. Gee whiz. You about to make me emotional, man. You about to make me emotional with that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
The GOAT said, I can't do that.
AI can't do that. How about that?
At all. I'm gonna say something. There was a moment that happened. We're not gonna show that today. Y'all gotta wait for the premiere of the series. But there was a moment that will never ever be repeated again that happened at OAX. And I'll be honest, I was proud that it happened at my stuff and for my daughter to witness it. And I'll just set it up. You know, you had Still Freeze and Sanford in there at one time.
Yeah.
Talking about the gallery. And for me, I could have went home at that particular point. Like I was done. Like I didn't need to do anything else. And it was just amazing. Another moment that happened to me was that I had asked Sanford to Big Daddy Kane is my favorite artist of all time. I mean, James Brown is my favorite. Kane's my favorite hip hop artist of all time. Skaz Digger is my guy. And the brother Sanford Greene blessed me with a Big Daddy Kane commission. Derek, if you got that, my brother, man, go ahead and drop that also. You know, we full of surprises.
He's got that. He's gonna show you.
Wait, he gonna show it to me.
I gotta give you your Big Daddy Kane. Yeah, he wants to make it a big presentation though.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let. You get him?
He wants to make it a big presentation, so it's like
I don't even want to look yet.
all right.
The cover with a curtain and
Back up some. I need for let me see.
Yeah, that's it.
Ooh. What? Hey, listen.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Come on, man.
You know, I was thinking about your face the entire time. That was the motivation. Like, how can I get him to lose his mind over this thing? And like, how can I do this in an hour? I did it in an hour.
And the Nefertiti. You know what we're talking about.
I know, man. I got this.
I just want to say real quick.
I need to take a photo of that too.
Big Daddy Kane is my favorite hip hop artist of all time. And the fact that I got Sanford Greene to do me a BDK is crazy. I'm about to send this to his DJ, man, so he can see this. That's my man Skaz, is my homie.
Okay.
He's in North Carolina too.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Kane's in North Carolina.
That come on, man. It gets no better than that, man. This is
AI can't do that.
Sure can't. We got Kazra in the building now from Comic Art Fans. So it doesn't get any better than that. You know, it's
What's up, Kazra?
Kaz, I saw you briefly in San Diego. You were walking by with 2 drinks. You looked really focused. So you weren't trying to chat. You weren't trying to stop and chat.
Hey, always busy, man. And I'm gonna say this too. It's important for spots like OAX because this isn't a space for the AI. Like when we talk about the AI and whatever, like I think for me, I get so emotional, so real about it because when you go to those places and you see all these artists drawing and putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this, it means something. Like this means something. The art means something. For example, just real quick, when with the Hip Hop Museum, Pete Knights was putting up stuff and a couple other people putting stuff were kind of slow. So I wasn't even there supposed to be putting up a lot of the stuff, but I was helping out because that's my people's. And my son had said, man, you really going hard. I said, it's because I care. I care about what this looks like at the end, regardless if my name's on it or not, or whatever affiliation I have with this. I care about this culture. And, we need more people to actually care about the culture. So
can I share something about that too, man?
Yes, sir.
I think it's very important. There's 2 levels to this. Going back to, again, the human connection. It's so important for these young, impressionable minds and the older folks as well to see us in those spaces, doing those things, creating those things. Right. I know for me, when I saw full circle moment. Dennis Cowan, he is definitely him in the Milestone company group when they first started. That was it for me, man. When I saw in Wizard magazine, if you guys kind of nerd talk right now, magazine was kind of like the what was it, like the Source magazine for comic artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the Source, it was the seeing that big double page spread of him and Dwayne McDuffie and the rest of those guys, all black men, like they are the creators of Static Shock and Icon,
right,
and Hardware, and I'm like, oh my god, they're all black. You know, I knew Dennis was black, but I never saw him before. I just knew from just, and that one moment just made me realize that this is something I really want to do this now. I want to move. I thought I wanted to do this before, but that really confirmed it. And it's all, and again, it's that nuance stuff. I didn't go out and say, hey, everyone, there are other black artists in this industry that's doing this, so I want to do it. It was just something that I saw and I internalized it. It impacted me. I internalized it and I moved differently because I saw it. And I connected to it. And I think it's so important when, you know, going back to that video when Phil with the young man, I'm telling you right now, that dude's going to be different.
For sure.
Different. You know,
Come on.
like, he could do the YouTube and do, he wouldn't have had the same experience, obviously, you know, without having, you know, that connection. So I think it's important. That's another reason why it's important for us, you know, to be keepers, if you will. If you want to call it gatekeepers or whatever, fine. Because that's what we're going to have to be that way, because we are at stake as well. Like the art is at stake, but we are at stake.
Yes.
Black,
yeah.
specifically black women as well. Creatives, they need to see us.
That's what I thought was beautiful about it myself. Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead. That point is incredible, Sanford. Like, Phil, this is not about right or wrong. So let's take, for instance, that this kid was learning off of YouTube. You know what I mean? He's watching certain things. He would have never had that interaction of somebody going, this is what you did. It's cool. We're in a generation where good enough is passing.
Come on, man.
Good enough is passing, right?
Right.
So you took the time to be like, and this is another thing, another teaching tool that when you're teaching these kids, instead of telling them what to do, frame it as a question. What you said is, okay, I see what you did, but what if we did this? What if you led them into this? That's what I'm trying to say, is you have to sit there and see where that person's at. That's specific per human. So that's the teacher-student interaction that can't happen from watching YouTube or getting answers from a chat GPT.
Yes, sir.
That develops him. So every time, like my building of equipment, the things that I really, really know, I know them. It's my mistakes that have made me better. Well, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to take this wrong value and put it on this thing again, ever again, because it caught on fire the last time I did that. As an engineer, when you build an equipment and something catch on fire, you're like, oh my God. And then you got to really figure out what you did wrong. And you'll never make that same mistake ever again. Matter of fact, you'll be over like, yo, make sure when I'm passing that, there's whole sections of wisdom that I give kids that has nothing to do with a circuit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, okay, when you first sit down, all this come off. Any metal, any watch, your wedding ring, everything come off. Because it's nothing worse than putting your hand in there with a ring on and getting electrocuted. Because I've been there before. You're like, it's that wisdom that you can give somebody that is not about just like what the information is. It's about like the wisdom of when somebody brings me a broke piece and it's just like, hey, go, this thing is not working, fix this. Okay, well, I have a whole thing that I got to go down. Or I'll start with the power. I'm checking certain points. I have no clue. But it's the same way your doctor doesn't just go, like your doctor's like, okay, let me look at your medical history. Is there any history in your family? Do you smoke? Do you drink? What's your diet? Like they got to diagnose you. That's an art that's learned per person.
Yeah, troubleshooting, man.
We're not talking about if you know how the heart work. We know that. That's the basic bottom line of it. That's what ChatGPT will tell you how the heart. Now apply it to that person.
Yep.
Oh, this person's a heavy smoker, so this is probably going to be the thing. Oh, this person ain't smoker, drinking their whole life, so it can't be that. It's going to be this. Oh, but they do have a history of diabetes coming from this side, and they black, so it might be. That's the personal interaction that you can't get from AI.
Yeah,
right.
What's the point? What's the point of having information without context? What's the point of having information without the context of the culture behind it?
Right.
You know, much of our knowledge, because remember, there's a period of time where we weren't allowed to be educated, right? We weren't allowed to learn how to read or write or what have you, we had to rely on our own oral tradition to carry on our traditions and to share our culture and our history. That's why I said it's a little bit more personal in this discussion of AI, because our culture, our ability to share who we are as people, no matter what endeavor we're at, there's adding that extra layer of culture. It's been intrinsic to our successes in this country. And AI can't emulate that.
And to speak on our tradition like that, I study the Dogon. That's like my specific thing that I study the most, right? And in the Dogon tradition, the teacher gives the information based off the question that the student asks. You got to ask the right question. Then I know where your level is at. So this same simple symbol could mean this to this person, and it's all valid. But you have to get to a certain point where, okay, if you ask a certain question, I know you've gotten past a certain point. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the real angle of it, is that the teaching has to come from the question of what the student is trying to get to. Because sometimes there's things that I can only give you my wisdom, right? There's plenty of kids that come up to me nowadays, Google the music business, and how do you survive, and how do I be you, and how do you do? Bruh, I was doing this in '96. I was on tour with Fugees. It's completely different in 2025. All I can do is give you my wisdom. The knowledge part, you may gotta pull that. You may know something. You may know something a little bit more about today's thing because I'm not actively trying to get hot. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm cruising. So you may be able. This is those. Man, I'll be tying it into comics, but it's just like this is those things of the questions of when T'Challa, in at least in Ultimate Black Panther, when T'Challa's talking to his father, and it's just like it's that ultimate push and pull of the father represents the tradition of where we've been at for all these years. T'Challa's like, I don't really believe in all that, but I'm gonna show it a little bit of respect. But it's like you can't throw away all the tradition. Some of it's really good. And we need to listen to the youngins because they got some new information too that is for today. Yeah. That's the balance of why we need, you know what I mean? The both of those.
Right. Real quick, y'all. We got another dope artist in this chat. I kept seeing him pop up. My man Turin Clark. He's
Turin Clark.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
I was gonna say, I hope Guru, you know him. Jay, you need to get to know him too, man.
No. He'll tell you. He'll probably put in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat, but he'll tell you. We talk almost like there's not a week that goes by that we don't talk. Behind the scenes, bro, I be just like, yo, you dope. Like I'm bigging up everybody what they doing. You know what I mean? From week to week, or now I can say it. I'm gonna keep it a buck, but I'll be like, yo, like certain covers that I know that he's doing. It's sometimes where I'm in the store and I see what's coming new. And I'll take a photo and be like, "Oh, you got this coming." He's like, "Yo, I forgot about that." Like,
he actually has an art book coming out, so y'all check out Kickstarter. He's got a whole Marvel art book coming out. Which
man, that dude's a machine, man. He's put out. He's got a cover out every other day. He's posting some new cover. I managed to get him to squeeze in his schedule to do a variant for Bitterroot. So. Look out for that, issue 5.
Torin, we're trying to get you on the channel, man. Email us at blackcomiclords at gmail.
Oh, you
We'll
got
talk about your new art book coming out, all the other work that you've done. Email us. We want to have you on the show.
I love his work, man. I absolutely love it. And great guy. We chop it up all the time.
And that's what it's about. And also, let me ask y'all this. Oh, there we go. Working with the kids. I need to send this to work. They need to give me some more money. But I do. You know, you got to do it for the kids. So one of the I'm gonna talk about my project real quick since I got everybody on here real quick. I'm working on my first comic coming out. I don't want to say soon. It's gonna be a minute. There's a book called The Forgotten. I don't know if I'm gonna do a Kickstarter or not. If I'm just going to just rough it out and make it do what it do. The artist who is doing the artwork is my brother Yuko Smith, and he is a animal. If y'all don't know who Yuko is, y'all need to go ahead and do your due diligence and look him up. But the sad part of this story is that before Yuko, there was a brother by the name of Tommy. It's called Tommy Guns, a brother that I know who passed away maybe a month or so ago. And he was somebody that, you know, I wanted to get into in collections in Black. And it just didn't happen. He was sick. Some things was going on, and we just couldn't make it happen. And one of the things that one of my next projects that I'm going to do is to make sure that we get my brother Tommy Gunn's artwork out there. This is a piece of his artwork. This is a dude who was going to actually do my book before he passed away. And I just wanted to just give him a little bit of shine because his brother never got his flowers. And but y'all gonna be hearing about this brother real soon. And like I said, he did some pieces for me. This is my guy Tommy. Like I said, he's no longer with us anymore. But I want to show some respect to this brother on this particular platform because, you know, he's one of us that's gone, and he never got the love that he deserved. But like I said, my man Yuko Smith, he actually, that shirt that I had on that had that's the title right there, The Forgotten. The shirt that I had on that had Pyro Man on it, he's the one who did that particular art. So actually, these are actually the old sketches that were my man Tommy had started doing before he passed away. So those were some of the just some of the sketches that he was doing. Like I said, this dude's artwork is unreal. That's Yuko sketches for the book that's coming up, for The Forgotten. Those are just some of those sketches. He's a monster. And like I said, my book is going to have some HBCU elements to it, because that's where I come from. I believe every one of us should attend an HBCU, but that's a whole nother conversation.
HU.
But here we go. I went to Russ College, man. The home of the home of Ida B. Wells. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, it's real out here. So Paul, you went to HBCU?
My university accolades go without saying. I'm always bragging on my university.
As you should, brother. As you should. As you should. As you should. You know what I mean?
I'm messing with y'all, man. Any HBCU, you know what I'm saying, is a blessing. All day. Even the brothers who didn't go, I still got love for y'all, but there's certain conversations we can't have. There's certain arguments we can't get into. You know what I mean? It's a special club that we in. And let me tell you, 90s HBCU was a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. I went 90 to 95. So I know all about. I was in Holly Springs, Mississippi. So I was at HBCU for real. So you know it is what it is. So anybody else got any new projects coming up? Jayquan, what you got working on? I mean, I saw you on 60 Minutes. I'm like, man, this dude's serious.
Yeah, man. What I'm doing right now, like I said, I'm heavy into the film documentary thing. You know, it's quite a few legendary musicians here in Virginia where I am. So one of them is Lonnie Liston Smith. I'm doing a project documentary on Lonnie Liston Smith. Yeah, I've interviewed him on camera several times. I want to do a full length thing on him. You know, the whole Don family that did the 7 Minutes of Funk, that, you know, the great breakbeat. There's a foundational breakbeat in hip hop. Those brothers are still alive, and they here in my city. In fact, the actual bass player who played that great bass line, I was just with him a couple weekends ago. So I'm doing something on that. So I'm really trying to get into the real DNA of the break beats. And for those who are still living, you know, to go into their musical history and, you know, put a face and a name to the kind of things they're doing. So that's what I'm doing right now, man. Heavy on film stuff. And I did also just do a book on Run DMC's Raising Hell turns 40 years old next year. And there's a coffee table book that came out. And I authored that coffee table book, but it goes so far beyond Raising Hell, man. You know, it talks about the great producer Larry Smith, who did their first 2 albums.
Sure.
And
Talk about
of course,
Talk about it. Woo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talks a lot about Larry Smith. Talks a lot about Davey DMX. Was that?
What's the name of the book? I need to get that.
The book is called Raising Hell the 40 Run DMC and Raising Hell 40 years. It'll be out next year. I'll keep you abreast of it. But also, you know, Davey DMX. You were talking about Skaz Digger. That's my man too. He used to live like a couple doors down from Davey DMX. Right. You know, Hollis, Queens. You know, incredible musician and you know and DJ. So, you know, doing some works with him. So yeah, I'm just heavy into the film thing, man. I'm loving that. It's still writing and stuff. So yeah, man, that's it right now.
Hey, Jayquan, can I propose something to you?
Yes, sir.
One of my good mentors is like my big brother in this music thing, Breakbeat Lou, who
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of the Ultimate Breaks and Beats series.
Yes, sir.
I feel as though he needs some sort of documentary movie. You know, I'm not a videographer. I don't, you know, like a writer or any of those things. But his story needs to be told and understood
it does.
Generation and anything you need in terms of connecting with him. I'm not in people business. If y'all connect, y'all do. If y'all don't, y'all don't. But I feel like you would be the perfect person to be able to tell that story.
Me and him are gonna connect. You know, when I first started writing full time for Rock the Bells, like the first full length piece I did was on the Ultimate Breaks and Beats, and of course that got us talking about the Octopus breaks, and that got us talking about Curtis Mantronic and all kind of a whole world of stuff. So to answer your question, I do plan on getting with that brother. And the big thing I'm working on, and I'm most proud of, and a lot of people don't know about, is the producer Pumpkin. You know, who did all
Pumpkin and the All Stars. Come on,
yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
You know, I found all those brothers, the Fresh 3 MCs that was on that record, and you know, but yeah, Pumpkin. You know, he passed away in the early '90s, but his drumming and he's a multi-instrumentalist, but his drumming on like Love Rap by Spoonie G. You know, I mean, I ain't telling y'all nothing y'all don't know, but that was a break beat within itself. You know, every Cold Crush routine got Love Rap on it. So
for sure.
Yeah, I'm going heavy into this documentary on Pumpkin. I was just with Dougie Fresh a few weekends ago. He gave me some incredible knowledge. You know, they were label mates on Enjoy Records. So, yeah, man, I'm loving the documentary space, but I don't want to do the stuff that everybody know already. Whenever I do something, I want to be able to tell you something you didn't know already. So,
but I also want to say it this way, right? Like,
yes, sir.
One, we may view things as like everybody knows that, but there's a younger generation where I feel like you as a curator could give them a particular version that is authentic, or
that's true.
Even for older people, rest in peace to the great Howie T. And
rest in peace. Yes,
as much as I thought I knew everything that Howie T did, you know, from the Special Eds into the Chub Rocks, of course we know, you know, the Roxy and Shantae's. I did not know that Howie T did the Patra record. You know what I mean? When people were posting all these things on, I was like, "Oh man, I that missed me that he did." It's joint that Tupac is in the video, and I was like,
"Yep."
That one, as much as we say, "Yeah, okay, I know how we see," but it might be like, "Okay, I know Sanford, but I may not know every cover." That
you know what?
Like that sort of thing. That needs
real briefly. I'll reword that. I won't say the stuff that everybody know, but just like what I no longer do is, you know, I used to be really into who did this first and who did that first, and the whole narrative that we've been hearing. But what I've realized is, first of all, we can never know who did most things first, especially when you talk about New York, because, you know, it's 5 boroughs very close together. And what was happening yesterday could have been happening 2 days ago over here. Who was there to record it? So I'm less into who did what first and more into just storytelling. And it's so incredible that you said that, because I just got finished doing a 40-minute piece on Howie T, and I've been trying to get with him for the last couple of years, not knowing he had been hospitalized. But something else that a lot of people don't know, and Kango Kid told me, I was the last person to interview Kango Kid. We did a 4-hour interview before he passed. And you know, he did a lot of production with Howie T. two things I want everybody to know real quick. The scratching on another series, Just Bugging by Whistle.
Right.
You know, their DJ is Silver Splinter, but that famous part where it says, you know, check out his just, and that whole part, that's Howie T. That's Howie T scratching.
Nice.
The other thing is that Howie T is the producer of Roxanne, and he chopped up the drums from Big Beat. I know you hear Big Beat in Roxanne, but he did what Marley was doing a lot at, you know, right around that time. He actually took those the separate kick, snare, and hi-hat and reprogrammed it. You know, on a little machine that had 1 second worth of sampling time. So, you know, all that stuff will come out, man. I'm doing a piece on Howie T as we speak, and rest in peace to Howie T, incredible producer and DJ.
Hey, Quan, ain't you supposed to be coming up here soon, brother?
Very soon, bro. I'm gonna see you very soon.
All right.
Now, do you guys have enough time to do some rapid questions from the chat?
I got way more than enough. We didn't even get in the comments yet.
Unfortunately, I don't have that type of time. Unfortunately, I don't. But I mean, we can do 2 or 3 of them. That's cool.
Y'all don't have Sanford on here a million times. Yeah, do the
Sanford, the last issue of Bitter Root comes out. What is it, this week or next week?
This week.
This week.
Was that one of the questions? Was that one of the questions?
No. Sanford's hilarious, yo. Like,
I was going to ask if you and David had some time and Chuck had some time to come on this week and maybe chat about it.
Hey, man, Sanford, you can hold on. Yeah. Sanford's only allowed one appearance a week, man. Listen, he don't rock. Listen, that's on the contract we signed, dog. You can't rock with them for a couple weeks, man.
I do this too for just real quick, because there may be some people on here that are not Black Comic Lord fans, just because we on here, whatever, and y'all see the current stuff that's going on. But please make sure you go back and understand like where this whole love of what Sanford does comes from. Like,
yes, sir.
I see some people that love. No, I'm not stunting because my comics.
I know you ain't flexing, dude. Come on, baby.
LA, but I always got rep my dude.
Come on, dude.
If we want to get into stunting, we can stunt.
He's pulling stuff.
Let's go, man. Let's 3D jaws that real quick.
That's where they all went.
See,
exactly.
See, Phil, if I was home, I would pull out my signed one and stun on you.
I'm gonna tell you what, you got me, brother. But I'm gonna tell you what, I do got the Sanford Greene commission piece, the rock, the cane, though.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. But you know what you can do, Guru? I'll talk to you later, man. Go ahead and send me that ghost face early, man. I don't think I need to wait.
You want me to lose my job?
Hey, look, man. We do need to talk off record, man, about me and you, Guru, about some stuff. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to deprive the people because Sanford only has so much time. But like, let's answer the questions, I guess, for Sanford. You said there was more questions?
Yeah. Dr. Wizard, put up some questions, brother. Question for Guru. What were some of your must-have books that you had in your collection? It's dope to see someone from the hip-hop community here.
Must-have books? Oh, my God. Okay. We're going to get into this later, but I'm one of them people that, like, my holy grail is to have everything that T'Challa has ever been in.
Okay.
Facts.
Period. And when I say that from a very deep level. I would have probably gotten to this later, but like there's a certain level of like T'Challa fans of like, yo, like it's almost like Jay Dilla fans, right? Like I knew Dilla, right?
Come on, man.
And you kind of be like, okay, I'm one of them people that was walking around being like, I want the world to know how good this person is, right?
Right.
So then you get to a point where this person passes, you knew the person, he wasn't like your close personal friend, but he was just like somebody who was champion, and I knew him in person. So then when people are like, you know, Dilla changed my life t-shirts, I'm like, certain ones of me be getting mad because they like, you ain't really know. I'm like, no, that's what I wanted. I wanted kids 20 years from now to be like, no, this dude is it. So I do want kids from 20 years from now to be like, no, T'Challa is it. But it also kills me when people talk and don't really know what they talking about. Like they jump from like Fantastic 52 or Avengers 52, and then like I'll be like, bro, like, do you see? Like, I could show you hundreds of issues that this man is in. You're talking about suspense, 97, 98, 99. You got to have your Cap America 100. You got to have 54. You got to have a Fantastic Four Annual 5, 56, 60.
Talk that.
You get the point of what I'm saying. So I'm a fan. But when you want to talk that to me, I'm like, okay, we got to talk on a different level. So when you say, what are my books? That's one thing. But then there's also like, as I've grown, there's specific like friends that I have. So I'm like, yes, there are certain things of Sanford's that I'm like, again, the Doom thing, like that's a must-have for me. That wasn't even a question. It's not like I bought so many copies, I might give away. I showed it one day and Sanford cracked a joke and he was like, "Oh, that's where all the copies went." I was like, "Bro, yeah, I'm proud. Like this means something to me." So when you say must-have books, there are certain things. Oh, again, you have to have foundational things. When we're talking about Secret Wars, you got to have at least read that. When we're talking about,
come on, man,
certain eras, like you have to at least read those pieces of information all the way up to now. Like for me to even, I'm not going to say the name that doesn't get said on this channel. I'm very aware. So there's one writer.
I appreciate that.
Who's that? That does not get said on this channel, and I'm going to respect that. But I am so much of a fan that I have to buy it in order to critique it.
For sure.
Be able to be like, it's trash. But for me to say
I got all the issues. I just won't talk about them.
Yeah, for me, I could reach down and show you every issue. So there are still must-have issues or like things that are like.
Oh wait. Wait a minute. Let's go back.
Don't make me boot you off your own show. Don't do that.
Listen. Are we talking about my man who had one of the greatest Black Panther moments though?
Don't start with that damn Buffalo Soldier book, man. Look, now you're gonna have
Let me tell you.
Your mom.
I'll just call him the R, right? But we don't say it.
Let me say this though. Let me say you this though. But for in the interest of history, the good thing that came about from that run was the fact that the Buffalo Soldier character that came out was really the catalyst for me to really go hard for collections in Black. I don't give a damn how anybody feels about it, because that character reminded me of my father. My father was the one who introduced me to the Black Panther, right? As a kid, I used to sneak and read his comic books. But my dad is also a Western fan. He's called Cowboys. He's called Cowboys. He's called cowboy movies.
We the same thing.
That was the first appearance of the Buffalo Soldier. Was the first piece of art that I spent any real money on, and I had. Y'all think I'm playing? The hell?
You about to get it? Oh, here we go.
Get more questions going, man.
Yeah, get more questions.
Show Sanford's questions, man. So for Sanford, what issue of Spawn is that behind you? Thank you.
Oh, which issue of Spawn is that behind me? Where is it?
Hold on.
Almost let Sanford sneak out of here without showing.
Let Sanford sneak out. Right. But real quick, just so y'all know I'm not playing, that's the John right there. I had to have it. And once you start collecting original art, everything goes on to a whole nother level.
Shout out to Jermon Peralta. He's a dope artist.
Ridiculous artist.
It's the Spawn 300.
Oh,
300 issue.
Yeah.
I think I did a cover. I did a Spawn cover. I can't remember which one. I think it was after the 300. It's like the 307 or something like that.
All right, another question for you. You're going to be at Dragon Con, Sanford?
Yes and no.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for like a day, and that's it.
I got a question for Sanford. Let me ask
Hold on. We got get through people's questions. Guru, when are you and Sanford doing a book? And can I do the covers? So Torrin Clark.
We'll talk, Teron. I need to talk to you. Seriously, for real.
And I need both of y'all
off the thing. So
I need both you and Torrin to keep December 6th free on your calendars for like
December
an hour.
6th. Oh my God. What is your birthday?
Get that book in the air from now.
He said it's your birthday.
I'm not extending that to everybody, just to y'all.
I could do a book about life experience, but I don't feel as though like I think I'm too verbose, right? It takes me too many words, which is why I worship writers and creatives and people that could tell stories in like this succinct like thing.
Right.
Because I'm super verbose and I would need an ill editor to like edit my book. I could talk to you I could just record myself talking for 10 hours and that would be the book. But I need somebody to like chop it up, and that's where like a comic editor will come in, because I don't have that discipline of like edit, because I'm so detailed on everything that it's like you can't be that detailed. And you know, again, that's your respect for the way that somebody tells a story in a comic is like, how did you get to this thing?
Well, I want to say, first of all, we're going to continue this conversation, but I want to give Sanford Greene love for jumping in and being on this show today. I if you other brothers want to stay on, we can stay on. We can keep it going because we can get to some comic stuff. And I'm looking forward to grabbing that last issue of Better Root. And I just appreciate you, man, being you and looking out ever since I've known you. Good luck.
Rod, this was definitely encouraging. And hey, man, we got more cool stuff, awesome stuff to discuss. Bitter Root is closing out, but there's something else starting real soon.
For sure.
That's what's up. When you have to share, please let us know. We'd like to bring you back soon.
No doubt. You guys be good.
All right,
Guru, Jay, we'll talk.
Good to see you.
Yep.
Peace.
Well,
all right.
Let me ask you this. Hey, so Guru, what books are you currently really just hype about right now? Is there any particular stories or anything that you gotta really
ask
follow?
the right way, Phil. You gotta ask it the right way. How do we ask it?
I don't do all that, man. I don't know how to do that shit.
Yeah, what? You gotta ask it the right way.
What's on your pull list, brother? What's on your pull list?
Well, he said his pull list is he can't do it because he's all over the place, so he can't do a pull list like that.
I have a mental pull list of things that. Okay, so if y'all will indulge me again, y'all don't know what an honor this is for me to be on Black Comic Lords.
For sure.
So this is the place where I'm supposed to tell my story or my perspective, right?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
It's gonna take a little 5 minutes for me to get all the way.
Take your time.
I'm born in 1974 in Wilmington, Delaware. My father was an avid comic book reader.
Nice.
So I have a blessing of a lot of things that people went backwards on was always in my house, right? So me having Iron Man #1, me having Thor #1, that's my father. And there's a little blessing because these are things that my father picked up off the spinner rack, right?
Mm.
My mom loves to tell these stories of, I actually learned to read off of Black Panther.
Come on,
my dad would sit and like have me on his lap and be reading the newspaper and you know what I'm saying, like reading that and just trying to teach a child how to read and watch words. But because of the fact that what Black Panther meant at that particular moment, at that given time, to my father, who had been collecting prior to when, he got a solo run. And I'm not even saying Jungle Action. So imagine my dad being like, oh, snap. Like, like how we would be now if that was the first time it happened. So those are the comics that I learned to read off of. But also my dad was a huge, like, just everything. So the major things that people look at. So Avengers, Thor. My dad was super into any type of mythology, right? It doesn't have to be Greek mythology. It could be any type of mythology. My dad loved all mythology stories, just about gods and just all that type of stuff. But I'm telling you the comics that are in my household. and it's not how am I saying it? It's not a like the way that we look at it with the backings and the plastic and all that. Hey, baby. I'm sorry, y'all. My lady just came in. But it's not the same way we look at it with like the backings and the plastic and all that. Like my dad looked at it kind of like a Sports Illustrated magazine. You know what I'm saying? It might have been in the bathroom or just the way our age group might have looked at a Source magazine or a Vibe magazine. Some people kept those immaculate. Some people didn't. That was my household growing up. So I'm reading all these stories. So of course the thing that was said earlier about like my dad was a huge Western fan. Like the TV is always on Westerns.
Right.
So in his comic world too, there's also the Western comics that were dominating during his particular time period. Where things that I may not care about, Kid Colt or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But my dad did.
Right. Two Gun Kid.
Yeah. But so those comics are still there. Also, like my dad had a love for DC that I necessarily never
didn't
have or picked up, right? Like it was like Superman was kind of like regular to me. Batman, I felt like was the same story over and over and over and over. It's like, all right, your parents died. Like, you know how many people in the hood I know who parents died? Like, you know, not the, you know, yes, I know Batman, I know Superman, I know those things. You know, Kingdom Come from Jay, that album was a direct result of Kingdom Come. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
He had retired. No, it was me saying to him, like, okay, this is the situation. Like, he had retired, and then, okay, we're gonna come back. I was like, bro, you know, in the comic, like, Superman had retired, and the little young dudes, they didn't know how to really be superheroes, and they was just messing up. Like, they would, you know what I'm saying? They trying to defeat the villain, but they fly into the building, and this thing falls, and it kills 10 people. They don't really know how to be superheroes correctly.
Right.
They need to be taught. That was where the whole Kingdom Come, like, sort of idea came from. You know what I mean?
And that's incredible. That's incredible.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, but I was always Marvel. You know, like those things were really important to me. And then Black Panther was probably, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm a child of the 70s who, by the time I'm 10, is the first time where I could get a little bit of paper route money and go to the comic store myself. But I'm all with my dad when he's going every week. And I didn't really understand that, like, I should have bought like doubles of the X-Men or doubles of this and doubles. It was just, you know, you go by, it was like your entertainment. Television had, you know, 3 channels for a long time. And then we got the little brown box that had like the A and the B, and then there was a couple channels. But comics was the television. It was the entertainment. It was the stories that you picked up every week.
Right.
Just picked up different ones. And some of them you like, some of them you don't like. Some of them became cartoons, you know what I mean? Cartoons was a big thing. Like, I didn't know nothing about the business aspect of it or none of that until like 99 when like Image did his thing. You know, that's the first time I can remember paying attention to who writers and illustrators were.
Right.
When it all broke out for Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Like before then it's just like the normal names, the Stan Lees and the like Jack Kirby's and the, like, I'm a kid reading, I'm not paying attention to who the artist is.
Right.
But this is like my world of like reading these things and knowing these stories and being able to, I didn't know the word retcon, but I could be like, oh, they changed this because of the issue, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He said this, and then this thing now is different. And this writer did it. You know, I was following that with T'Challa the whole time. That's why he's my favorite character.
Mine too.
But also Wolverine, you know what I'm saying? And those sort of like the X-Men, when they come, it's just like, oh, that's my time period. Especially the new version. When I say new, it's old, but I'm saying when like Storm got there and that first breakout thing with Banshee and like all of them, is also why when I have these discussions with people about the MCU and all that, I'll be like, yo, like, the first movie, y'all had Wolverine and what's shorty that can absorb everybody's powers?
Rogue.
Y'all had her coming to Professor X at the same time. Like, you skipping mad years. Like,
Right.
what happened to him fighting the Silver Samurai? What happened to, like, you skipping that? That's not how that happened.
Right.
Huh? But then
Right.
it's me understanding Hollywood and be like, okay, they get to put these things together and just
Right.
accepting it. You know what I'm saying? But I've never stopped reading or just discovering new things, or like I said, image became a thing at a certain time for me, and not the regular stuff that the dragon joint wasn't my joint. I was just like, that's corny to me. Like I didn't really get into that. But I was like, image is allowing people to write stories that don't have to be this regular, the superhero wins. It got into like deeper stories.
Yeah.
And that's where I like hooked up with Hickman. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, oh, nah, homie is like, that nightly news, this is real. Like, okay, this is okay, all because I was already there. So when people say, what are your monumental things? It's like, yo, somebody might ask me like why I love Hickman so much. And they'd be like, yeah, it's like to the average person outside, when you say basketball and they say Michael Jordan is the greatest player, you don't know if they just a cursory fan. You don't know, but actually Michael Jordan is the correct answer.
Right.
He's the greatest. And LeBron is my guy. You know what I'm saying? But you can understand or at least to have the argument of LeBron versus Jordan. You have to know, you have to have watched this man play sick. I'm watching him play sick that night. No, it's a reason why. So if I'm doing nightly news and I'm like, no, okay, prior to all the Avengers work, prior to the Fantastic Four, this dude who not really the greatest artist in the world, but he's setting up like really good graphic representation. He's a graphic artist, really, that tells great stories. Okay, now I see your style. So now when the info page of people got pissed off at that. Why is there no, this information is incredible. He's giving you the whole breakdown. Okay, the way he treats T'Challa. When we talking Avengers, new Avengers, oh, okay. He got T'Challa walking out of the Illuminati at first.
Yes, sir.
This bullshit. I'm sorry to curse. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
It's time, man. See my passion when it's like, when you ask me those questions, it's like, no, what level are you on when we having these discussions?
Right.
When you want to talk to me about the movie later on, and I'm talking to you about like, no, to us, we get it. It's but Wakanda has physically changed locations a couple times. Okay, you in the city, but the city is the city. This is a country. It's a whole bunch of people out here. Every city is different. Think about your city versus this city. That's like coming to the DC, the capital, and being like, now I've seen America, and you ain't never been here before. No, it's a whole lot of differences when you go into these different parts of Wakanda.
Right.
Some people don't rock with technology.
Right.
We leave that alone. It's some people that do. It's some people that worship different things. It's all like, so when we having these conversations about, you know, movies and all, that's why I was like, you gotta like, I gotta almost speed up and answer all the Black Comic Lord questions off the gate so you know who I am as a comic head, right? First of all, not a seller. I'm a buyer. I buy comics and I read them, and I buy individual issues and I buy TPs. You know what I'm saying? Because of a lot of the education that you get on Black Comic Lords of how people get paid.
Right.
Black Comic Lords was the first time where I heard somebody be like, yo, you realize that you walking in the store don't count. You got to pre-order.
Got to pre-order.
Right. I didn't have that information. I'm just a fan.
Right.
Then this is like, okay, if I'm going in and I'm buying, you know, out of the dollar bin, that's not going in the artist's pocket. The TP go in their pocket though. So go get that just to support them. I got every TP that I got. I have every issue. And it's also a beautiful thing of when people I just want my grandson to read it, and I don't want you to mess up the actual book.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is where I come from in terms of me as a fan.
Right.
So then I go naturally, okay, where are all the Black authors at? How come we can't do this? Why are we begging them? Why are you still holding on to these little couple, but the ones that we do hold on to? Yes. So I am very much I'm a buyer. I'm not a seller. MCU, I appreciate what y'all doing in terms of getting it out there, but we have transfer, which has been, again, I feel like I'm going over topics that have been talked about a lot on this channel, but I'm showing
No, you're
really
good. You're good.
So it's
You're
like,
good.
yeah, our comics used to drive the movies. Now the movies is driving.
You drive the comic. That's facts.
It's crazy.
Talk about that every week.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So, okay, but I still do want that out there. So then there's this whole thing that I didn't know that was going on of the recasttchalla. Should we do? Of course you should recasttchalla.
Come on, man, talk that. See, this is why I knew I like young Guru.
Of course you should. But here again, let me present my thing because I didn't even know this was a thing, right? So number one, you have Superman. The man that plays Superman got into an accident and was paralyzed.
Yes, sir.
You found somebody else to play Superman because Christopher Reeve was bigger than Superman, and Superman is bigger than Christopher Reeve.
Facts.
You have a character named 007. How many people in the history of 007 have played that character?
That's right.
Okay. I went to Howard University. Chadwick was a little bit younger than me. He was a couple of years under. And again, the way I explain my relationship to MF Doom, I'm not going to sit here and be like, Chadwick was my best friend. He was a young boy that I used to see on 14th and U with my dude Priest. Priest is my guy. Now, Priest and Chadwick is super close. They was all in freestyle fellowship, and they used to freestyle and do raps on 14th and U while I'm DJing. Priest was the superstar. Chadwick was the up and coming. He was a young boy. But this is why I'm telling you, Chadwick is bigger than Black Panther, and Black Panther is bigger than Chadwick.
Right.
This character is bigger than that man. We've honored the man. We've grieved.
Right.
Us at Howard University, we changed the name of our creative arts department to the Chadwick Boseman department. Black Panther is bigger than that. You understand what I'm saying? As a character, you can't tell me something that came about in the 60s that's been going on. So when people was watching the first movie, I'm like, yeah, this has existed since the 60s. And guess what? His introduction is kicking the Fantastic Four's ass. I just brought y'all here just to test.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
Right.
You see, like this is where my perspective comes from. So that's the whole, like, you know, when people ask me what things are important, like that Cap 100 is important to me.
Yes, sir.
Or I still have like these. If I was to show you these, right? Like my dad has all of these, but these are mine. These are the ones that I bought. The ones that my dad bought, CGC can't put no value on that. The ones that my dad picked off a spinner are sitting in my mom's basement separate from these. They're the same books.
Hey, Guru, let me say something real quick, because me and you have a similar story, because my father this summer just sent me his Jungle Action books. My dad, I have my dad's books, and you need to come to me and you need to have a conversation, because you need to come to OAX. We need to get you over there, because I had in the gallery the KKK original pages from Jungle Action on display. Wow. Like we had the KKK pages on display. And I believe I have possibly from, I want to say it was from the Kirby Foundation or the Kirby family. I'll say this. So, you know, Fantastic Four 52 was the first appearance of Black Panther, right? None of those pages exist from 52. Nobody knows where those pages are. But pages from 53 exist. And I had the original art from 53 in the gallery. So I think, you know, if you come, me and you gonna rap later about something with OAX, because I think when you go there and just the passion that you're seeing and seeing the original art,
those things are priceless. Those things are seriously priceless. Like,
unreal.
Priceless.
Yeah. It's
February 20th through 22nd. February 20th to 20th.
So again, this is when I'm trying to say it in the most when people had these discussions with me, or when we get to these points.
Yeah.
Then we gotta have some rap. And it's got to be from like a perspective of like you've read. If I'm coming in to have this conversation with you, I'm assuming that you've read everything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then the world can understand why we were so hyped to see the Christopher Priest name back on it, and then that first issue when we get to that last page and we like, nah, yo, fam, yo, what? Huh? Nah. You can understand that emotion. Am I making sense to you? Like this is
it
depends on who it depends on who I'm talking to. Like it depends on who I'm talking to and what like the most important thing is, or if I'm proving a point to people of like what powers this man has, and I can show you the issue where I'm describing what it was. It just depends. And then people do flesh outs. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole book about the Dora Milaje.
Oh man, that's a must-have. If you're a Black Panther fan, you cannot be a true Black Panther fan and collector and not have that book. You can't.
You got to think about all the other aspects of while you watching things, or when people do these breakdowns to me, and I'm just like, okay, if we look at what Christopher Priest did, if we look at just all the developments, right? And by the time we get to Ta-Nehisi was a young boy when I was at Howard. And then people get upset at where he take them, and I'm like, okay, but somebody's going to ask that question. These are the things that are not the easy. That's why I said this is what intrigues me, the things that are not easy, good versus evil. Yes, we love T'Challa. We know he's a righteous king, but this is still a monarchy. This is still a monarchy, fam.
Right.
And it's not only a monarchy, you are everything in one. You are the president, you are the pope, you are the head of the military, you are all of that in one. And you over here messing with these Avengers on a mission that was his big angst in the end of the first time appearing in Avengers. They asked him to come up, and he like, I'm the king of this thing. What? You over here messing with this. So of course the Dora Milaje is going to be like, no one man should have all that power. These are real questions.
Yeah,
Coates Run does not get enough credit. I pushed back on the first volume because I'm old and I don't like change. And I didn't like the idea. I didn't like the idea of T'Challa no longer being the main part of the throne. You know, going from a monarchy to a democratic monarchy, or a parliamentary monarchy, however you want to phrase it. But when you got to the second volume, his intergalactic empire, and you see how it was part of a journey of breaking him down, of deconstructing him, deconstructing his world around him, and made him rethink what it meant to be a king of this nation, and then have him made a literal slave, and have him build himself back up from that and determine who am I as a slave, because I don't remember being king of this nation. I don't remember what Wakanda is. I don't remember being privileged. I'm a slave and I'm fighting for my freedom, and have him build himself up from that. And then ultimately go on this journey where he goes from a slave to a hero, right? And then he becomes emperor. That's the hero's journey. That's the hero's journey. And the world building he did, I give Coates mad respect.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
Well, it's just certain questions that you ask that are like, whether or not they're not a right or wrong question. You know what I'm saying? It's like a build-up question of I don't know. I'm not the, you know, if you take it to Star Wars, right? I'm a Star Trek person, and it doesn't mean I don't like Star Wars.
As am I.
Yeah.
Damn. Man, I'm about to log off now.
No. Let me build on what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
That Star Wars question of Anakin and Yoda, and I've always had this thing where I'll be like, Yoda's trash, right? If you really get into Star Wars, he messed up the whole thing. He messed up the whole Jedi. But it's Anakin's thing, which is really the Malcolm and Martin thing, which is really like, okay, the enemy is right there. Right. I'm going to kill him. And Yoda's like, nah, that's not what we do. If you become that, if you become the killer, they've already won. They're making you into a killer now, right? But you're like, no, they came to kill my kids. I'm about to kill them. It's that thing between Anakin and Yoda where Yoda will sacrifice himself. It's the Malcolm and Martin thing. It's Martin being like, yo, like my idea is to show you the ultimate love, even with you spitting on me, and that I'm going to show you so much love that all you can reflect is love. And Malcolm is going, no, he can't understand that. You have to kill him. Right. So it's this dichotomy thing, because it's like, yo, when you really get into it, it's like, okay, Wakanda, and I don't want to do no spoilers, but y'all gonna see this on the new cartoon. Wakanda was going on while slavery was going on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all don't want to. This is Killmonger's whole point. Y'all ain't want to step in and do nothing about this. Wakanda. They pulling people off the West Coast. Y'all ain't want to just. They got muskets.
We got airships.
We got vibranium. They got muskets. And they killing people.
It's the 1400s and we're flying.
This is where you get to the point of it. Of in the latest, I don't know if y'all went to the end. You got to really read this joint. At the end of this new issue, they write, somebody's writing, and they talking about like politically how you use your position of people having to believe that you're the good guy. Right? It's fully explained. And it's just like, okay, let's really remember what the Black Panther is. He is the protector of Wakanda. It is Wakanda, and F you to everybody. My job is to protect this thing. That's it. Everything else is secondary.
Yeah. Right.
To me protecting this land. That's it. So somebody may take a vantage point of we're not going to deal with them, because then that brings in a whole bunch of other stuff. Somebody may take a different vantage. But my job as the Black Panther is to protect Wakanda.
Right.
That's it.
I'm a king. You got to do king stuff, man.
His father keep telling them, you got to manage expectations. You got to like they're going to expect this. You got.
That's why that run.
His whole thing is that he don't really want the job.
Yes. Yes.
He don't really want to. There's too much stress, fam. I see my dad go through it, but I'm honorable and I gotta do the job. And he's an honorable king. But this is the nonsense that comes with playing Game of Thrones.
He wants to be a superhero. He just wants to be a superhero. That's all he wants to do.
He really is an Avenger. If you really want to break it all, he wants to be an Avenger. Just go do that.
He's happiest being a superhero.
Right. So it's dope. Let me say this real quick too. I'm gonna try to be brief. I think that I could tell Guru reads a lot of the classic BP books, because when I'm listening to this, I'm more of a classic Black Panther fan. I'm a Jungle Action. Okay. Kirby Bryant, and then when he's in the Avengers, like that's to me. And then also, when Still Freeze and them were doing it, and I always felt like T'Challa was always at his best where he.
Here we go with the cotton T-shirt.
Here we go. But my thing with T'Challa was he was always at his best when he kind of just. He did what T'Challa always did, what was best, what was in the best interest of, overall. Of course, you had the Wakanda situation going on, but the Avengers may be dealing with a bigger threat. So he may do that. But then also he developed those particular relationships.
You didn't like the Priest run?
I like all of them. My only issue with T'Challa now, and this is something a lot of people don't agree with, I don't like when they make T'Challa this overpowered individual that can defeat everybody. I don't like that T'Challa, like they made T'Challa to the point now where he could wrestle Galactus and win. Like I don't like that. Like I prefer classic T'Challa because I feel like his character was more interesting because I need a character. Heroes don't always win, but they come back and they win in the end. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know if he can wrestle Galactus, but what I'm saying is that like you got to really realize how powerful this man is, and
his power is his mind though. So yeah, T'Challa can wrestle Galactus and win, but not physically. But his greatest superpower is his mind. He'll figure out a way to defeat Galactus.
His greatest superpower is whoever's writing. That's his greatest superpower. His greatest superpower is whoever's writing. Because
I don't want you to just get stuck on him because we went into a Black Panther deep dive because of Black Comic Lords. But like, yes, I still like even later stuff. Like I think Imperial is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting there.
Hickman's a beast.
Yeah, well, let me say this. Follow all of the same things that I follow. So it's just like, you know, I'm always going to buy Thor. I'm always going to buy Hulk. I'm always going to buy Fantastic Four. I'm always going to buy Daredevil. I'm always going to buy anything that has anything to do with any of those characters. So X-Men as well, and then any of those offshoots. And then there's a lot of like independent stuff that I buy that I love. Like, you know, I'm not the biggest horror movie guy, but of course I'm gonna buy Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? And support like, you know what I'm saying? Like Rodney and like that whole thing. Sure. And like being from Delaware, understanding Philadelphia, you know, like it's gonna naturally go together. So I'm just saying I don't want to get so focused on that. I'm just saying I'm a comic guy. I just certain people turn me on to certain things. I'll try it. If I don't like it, then I don't continue. If I do like it though, I'm going to rock with you. You're gonna have to do a lot to kick me off. Thing. I'm the person that's buying every instance of the Krakoa era, even after all of y'all was like, all right, go, it's too far, it's nasty now. You know, so like, I'm still buying it to like to critique it. You know what I'm saying?
You're completist. I mean, and that's how it's supposed to be.
You got to complete your run. Run. It's a struggle. It's a struggle of being a comic collector. Is having to complete your run. Even when you know it's objectively trash.
Well, let me say this too, because I know Brother Jayquan's been quiet. I'm gonna say the first time I hit Jayquan up was on some hip hop shit, but he had a picture on his IG and he had behind him a bunch of Migos. So the Migo dolls were the toys that I grew up with as a kid. And for those who do not know, you got to be in your late 40s, 50s to understand how important these particular toys, they were the superhero dolls, they came in boxes or they were carded.
Right.
And I remember, and when I saw Jayquan's image and he had a whole row of them sitting behind him, I said,
yeah. That's my thing. That's my thing. I mean, my thing is like, you know, more holistic in the superhero thing. I mean, I love comics, of course. I'm not necessarily the guy that could tell you the number right offhand of, you know, of a particular comic. My son, who's 22, he can do that more than I can. But my thing is, the Migo. I'm in the room where I had the Migo stuff, so I don't know if you can see it, but
serious. Look at that. There we go.
You know, I got. You know, so
slide back over there one more time, man. Let me look at that one more time. Slide back over there one more time. Yeah, man, that's a lot. For those who don't know, that's a lot of heat right there.
Yeah. Me and you were talking about the carded Falcon, and I got heavy into the being born in '70, man. I was heavy into the GI Joes with the fuzzy hair. So I got the black GI Joe Scout with the fuzzy hair.
Keep talking. I can hear you. Keep talking. I gotta get something. You got me hyped now. Keep talking.
And the Migo, the Migo Muhammad Ali and Ken Norton and Uhura, even my man Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch. I got him card on Migo. That's what I came up on, man. And even the vehicles, man. The Spider-Man car and the Captain America
Spider-Man
car
too.
How was that?
You have the Spider-Man car too?
Yeah, I got that. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it from over there, but let me see. Yeah, it's over there. I got the Spider-Man car. It's an expensive hobby, man, but you know, that's the stuff that I grew up on. I know when we were talking earlier, I forgot who said it, but we were talking about the, you know, the personal connection to these things, man. You know, no matter what it is for you, you know, it's that personal connection and remembering, you know, a combination of, you know, the corny Batman TV show from the 60s that was still coming on in the 70s and 80s, and the Super Friends cartoon on the weekends, and going to 7-Eleven and seeing a spinner rack with the comics, and, you know, comics being 25, 35 cents. You know, that's even the shirt that I got on.
Saturday morning
you know,
cartoons, man.
even the shirt that I got on right now, I don't know if you see it, but you know, it's that, you know, for me. So
oh, that's hard. I want one of them. So I know you'll appreciate this, man.
Oh man, yeah. See, yeah, you got the box joints. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Box joints.
In the box. In the box.
I got a couple of these. I got some really nice joints of the original one of these. And I can't find my other Muhammad. I got a couple of the Muhammads.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got the they got the boxing ring with him and Ken Norton, and I got that joint unopened, you know, from like a JC Penney catalog joint.
Right.
But it's you know, it's sealed, you know. But you know, oh yeah.
That's
oh yeah.
The one right there.
That's the grill.
Oh, yeah.
You got the I had two of these. I had to let one of these go.
I remember you telling me that. You know, it's funny because
my
box. It's funny. My daughter will mess with me, and she calls these dolls. Right? She's trying to be funny, and I'm like, no, I'm like, you know, they action figures. And I got the Migo Diana Ross, you know, boxed. And she said, "Okay, is that one an action figure?" I said, "No, that one is a doll." But you know, I mean,
they got like a Diane Carroll one too, if I'm right. I could be wrong.
They sure did. I think they did.
It's super nice of her. I buy her every time I see her, man.
Yeah, well, you know, it's good to know that. It's good to know there's other collectors. You know, it kind of lets you know you're sane for, you know, for buying the same thing. Like I'm like that with records, man. Like, you know, at one point back way before anybody sampled it, I was looking for the Black Caesar soundtrack, you know, on vinyl back in the day, and I just could never find it. And then when I started finding it, I bought it every time that I saw it. Probably in the back of my mind, just not wanting nobody else to have it because it was so hard for me to get it. And I was in stores the other day, and I got like 8 copies of it. And it's like, you know, when I talked to like my brother Cash Money, who got me back into collecting comics, he was down here in Virginia last summer, and I took him to the comic book spot.
Cash Money, Philadelphia legend.
Oh, of course. But I took him to the comic book spot, and you know, he got me back into collecting because I was out of it for a minute. But cats like that, you know, he's the same kind of dude. You know, he'll tell you, you know, I got 10 copies of this, and I got, you know, I don't know why I got 8 copies of that. So, yeah, man, it's good to see a community of brothers like this that just let you know that you're not crazy for, you know, putting out the kind of money that we put out for this stuff, and just you know, and just collected it on that level, you know.
Yeah, I just be looking at it as trophies and like you know, it's like record digging. You know, when we was record digging, we was
certainly
for particular samples, and you know, the same sort of thought process of I bought this album, this drummer was on it, let me follow that drummer. You know, that's right. You'd be like, oh, okay, this writer and this illustrator and this inker was on this thing, let me follow
100%.
Or this artist. The same sort of, you know, thought process, and then like you build up a collection, and then you be like, oh, I got gaps in my collection, I need to go get that. Can I get it from the dollar bin? Can I get it from, you know what I mean, this thing, or this person don't know the value of it, or it's in good condition, or something that means something over here doesn't mean the same thing over there, depending on what
100%. 100%.
I'm still this is literally dollar bin like today.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all dollar bin. I'm like, all right, cool, boom, boom, boom. This is all me in a dollar bin.
Shout out to Al Ewing.
Yeah, all dollar.
Wow.
All dollar bin. Filling in just gaps, you know, like just certain things. But just, you know, I'm like, all right, if I could find it in the dollar bin, then
why not?
You know, And it's crazy, just thinking, sometimes I think like I was with my son and I was telling him about the Treasury comics, the big joints from back in the days. And I was telling him how I never bought the Treasuries back then because comics was, 25, 35, cent at one point, and the Treasury joints was like $2. And that was a lot more. And like you said, that's my paper route money. And I was buying records. I've been a record collector forever. So I'm trying to maximize, and I need a pack of great bubble yum and some pop rocks. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to finance in that way. So I never used to get the Treasury joints. Now, every time I see a Treasury, the big Treasury joints, I'm in the collector. No, so the collector thing is crazy, man. It's I love it. I love it.
Right. It becomes a sickness,
It does.
I mean, it's a habit, and it's just. I'm a person. I'm big into the reason why I like collecting original art is because I'm into the whole one-of-one situation.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh wow.
So you see right here, man. We got my man Franklin, dog.
Wow.
Roosevelt Franklin. This was
Franklin.
And remember, the thing that's dope about this particular individual was that he was the man on Sesame Street, and unfortunately, black folks called in and didn't like it because of how the classroom was. But he talked about Black history and all this other, you know what I'm saying? And I actually, make a long story short, one of my homies knew somebody that makes Muppets per se, and my man Terrace. So we went. He got one done. I got one done, and they're so authentic that either if it was the Henson Foundation was questioning whether or not these were the actual ones from Sesame Street, and if they were, had been stolen off of Sesame Street. I'm like, nah, player, these were custom made for us. So, and I'm a big history. I think our history is important. The cultural part of our history is important, and and that's what it is. My man talked about this. My man talked about this Franklin too. Y'all seen this boy right here?
Oh, that's my man. Yeah.
That's the big boy right there. My grandson was trying to bite his nose off, so I had to put him back up in the container.
Yeah, I got him on a couple shirts, man. Also, the cat from the Schoolhouse Rock, the Verb joint, the superhero Verb. Man. That's what's happening.
I got that T-shirt. I got that Verb T-shirt.
Oh my man. My man.
Here go Franklin right here. My man Otis did this joint in respect to Malcolm or Jamal Warner. Got Franklin with the Gore and Cottrell on screaming Denise.
That's right.
That shit hot right there. So
I even had to pick this little joint up at
the play school joint.
Yeah, the black joint. But yeah, definitely, man.
Does he got the little circle? Does he got the little?
I'm not at home in Delaware, and the only thing I got out here is my guy gotta follow me everywhere I go. So
dope.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Dope.
Does the play school joint got the black, get the little circle of hair on there, like the little squiggle or whatever?
Oh yeah,
Look like it was a little marker.
Yep. For sure.
Out of control.
Sure. Well, look, I gotta bounce, brothers, but this has been lovely, man. We got to do a part 2 for sure, bro.
Right.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna get up too, but this is my man Otis. This is the greatest Black Panther collector ever. He's in my movie collections in black, man. If you look at that room, he built that Wakandan throne. He built that throne, man. And I want to give him a shout out because he's another one of the reasons why I take original art so serious is because of this brother, right? He's one of the people that showed me so much love. And this is actually we went up to drove up to Buffalo to go check him out. And yeah, man, he's in my film too, man. This is my guy, man. He shows nothing but love.
Incredible. Can't wait to see it.
He is the
Y'all need this one too.
Bro, come on, man.
Y'all need that one too.
Dope. Wow.
We interviewed him.
Of course, I get it. That one too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Necessaries.
Of course.
Level.
Necessary.
Yes, sir.
I need that one too.
Necessary. You got to get the you got to get the limited edition one from Walmart with the extra maps in it.
I didn't know about that. See, that's
check Amazon.
See, Black Comic Lords. I didn't know about that one.
Actually, you can buy it at Walmart. You can buy the Walmart
I
website.
did not know about that. You hipping me to something. You put me up on game.
It's Black Comic Lords, baby. That's what we do. Hey,
Speaking
listen,
of
we
Black-
have a tradition. We have a tradition here at Black Comic Lords that when you come on the show, you're family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Jayquan, I know you got to go, so let me bring you up on first. I want you to look at the screen, say your name, and say, "I'm a Black Comic Lord."
Jayquan the hip hop.
Derek, hold on. Derek, what's Derek doing? Derek, let me put him up there by himself, bro. Singular view. There you go.
All right. Jayquan the hip hop historian, and I'm a Black comic lord for sure.
That's what's up.
My man.
Young Guru.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Young Guru, aka Hank McCoy, aka the Beast. I am a Black comic lord.
That's what's up. Y'all
Well, I guess you know what? Hey, look, I'm gonna close out. I want to appreciate y'all on the first episode of my Collections in Black Live, and it's been a blessing, man. And I'm really thankful to have y'all as my guests, the powerhouses. And it's funny, man, because Paul wasn't even going to join. No, he's like, nah, I'm jumping on this one, dog. I'm getting on this one too.
Oh,
And
Wife asleep.
and Paul, I appreciate you too, brother. But until next time, and listen, y'all are always welcome to jump on this joint, you know, whenever because listen, this is the first episode of Collections in Black Live. On the second one, y'all cats want to jump back on. I don't care who the guest is. Y'all are welcome to jump in. Let me know y'all want to get on. And you know, after this is over with, man, we can stay in the chat, man, and chat it up about some other things afterwards. But I want to thank everybody for staying on with us for almost 3 damn hours. And like I said, y'all could have been doing anything else in the world, but y'all chose to be here, and I really appreciate it. For the record, Collections in Black we have some pieces in Charlotte right now, and we're getting 999 Studios. I believe that's the name of it. I'll charge it to my head, not to my heart. We're going to be doing the full big Collections in Black exhibit again really soon. So I'm looking for 2026. It's going to be traveling to probably 2 different places. Look out for the Collections in Black All Access on Comic Art Fans for the Original Art Expo. And also look out for my book, my comic coming out called The Forgotten. And also, of course, I got a couple of production credits and musical joints coming out soon. So I love y'all. And until next time, shout out to the Black Comic Lords. That's all I got today, brothers.
Young Guru, where can people follow you at?
On Instagram, Young Guru 763.
And Jayquan, where can people follow you at?
Jayquan.hiphophistorian on Instagram.
All right. Shout out. I also want to give a shout out to some of the creators that were in the chat, very active. Greg Burnham, Dotana Conde, Torrin Clark. Thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate each and every one of you. To all our regular followers in the chat, appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us. We have some things coming up. Also want to make sure everyone is aware of Atlantic Comic Con, August 23rd, 24th down in Norfolk, Virginia. That's going to be a dope event. Make sure you check that out. We have...
And let me ask you real quick too before Paul, Brother Clark, I need to know, man, what it's gonna cost me, man, to get a cover, dog, for my book, because you know we're gonna have a conversation, man. So I know you got the big dogs out here. If you gotta do it under a pseudonym or something, I don't care, man. I'm gonna need some love. You know,
we gotta get Torrin Clark on here. Torrin, we gotta get you on here, man. We've been trying. We gotta get you on here. All right, so appreciate it, man. Young Guru, thank you for coming through, brother.
Thank y'all so much. It's an honor for me, man. Black Comic Lords, just continue to do what y'all doing. I appreciate what y'all do for the culture. I learned like so much from y'all, man. I appreciate
it. Appreciate it. All right. Till next time, everybody. Black Comic Lords.
Salute.
We got you.
Peace, y'all.